Hello, and welcome back to the Wheel and Chill Show. Tonight is a really special night. I think we can all agree. The Wheel of Time Season 1 finale dropped last week, and I'm still processing. I think we all are, and that's part of the reason we're here today. It's all processed together. So, welcome to the stream. Today we have a very special guest. James of WheelUpTime fame is here with us today, and James is a great guy. He's got a lot of stuff going, and so I just kind of want to let him introduce himself and ask what I usually ask, which is, how did you get involved in Wheel of Time content creation, and what are your ongoing projects?
Okay. I prepared for this.
Excellent.
So, prepare yourselves. Hi guys, welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. I thought I'd just speak a little slow so I can let the people here know who in the light is this James guy. I've been reading Wheel of Time since I was around year high on an iPod Touch under a quilt into the late nights, and it took far too long for me to finish the books. I spent years putting them down, then picking them up and starting again. I'm sure you all know the cycle. Over time I started treating these books like a Bible. Until a year or two ago, I finally got to the end. Started making silly raps and made a lot of new friends, and I also made a board game on this series we love. But let's get back on with the show. I've been speaking enough.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, love it.
When you said I prepared, I said, were you going to rap? And I'll be damned if you did.
And there it was.
That's amazing.
Well, that is one of the things.
So happy. That was amazing.
That is one of the things.
Okay, my nerves are gone now. I've done the hard part.
There you go. I mean, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. So
Good job.
you have
Yeah.
a YouTube channel that you do Wheel of
Yeah,
Time
yeah.
raps on, and musical.
Yeah, so
numbers.
usually it's like animated rather than actually me. I animate as the characters usually. But yeah, sort of what I do.
Very, very talented. Very impressed. Have you submitted anything for the? Isn't there like a song challenge every year? With the Dusty Wheel, maybe, or somebody does like a song challenge every year.
Yeah, that's in like February, I think, though. So it'll probably be that's why I started my channel, was participating in that.
Really? Nice. That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That
It was
is-
around the time I finished the
Very
books.
nice.
Okay.
And I saw it happening, and I was a rapper anyway, so like,
Easy.
but I'd sort of been out of it for a while for various reasons, so it seemed like a cool step back in. And that was my first try at animation as well, so it was like new things, and yeah.
The Wheel of Time, it brings a lot out of all of us, I think. So it brings just like different sides from us all. So you have a YouTube channel. It's fabulous. The information for that is down in the description in YouTube. And you have a board game that you created, which I have played. I'm sure I probably played like several versions earlier than you have now, because I
yeah.
think I've seen that you've like expanded it. But it was amazing. What inspired you to make a board game?
I love board games.
Okay. I mean, but that's like
I've
a,
never been asked that question.
it's an
Nice.
insane
I've made
undertaking.
board
Like,
games as well. Like,
okay.
so I've been designing board games for probably a few years, just casually, like for friends and family, stuff like that. I've never like sent anything off to get published or
Right.
all like that. But I've made some prototypes for myself. I've got loads of different games around the house that I've made. And there's some of the favorites in this house, which is nice. But like, I never expected to go any further than that. But my dad suggested me doing a Wheel of Time game, and it was around the time like everyone was starting to get hyped for the show, so it seemed like a good time. And yeah, I asked if anyone was interested, and people were, so we started playtesting it online, and
Yeah.
it's been great.
Yeah. So my playtest went really well. I did not win, unfortunately. I lost to Sarah of the Maidens of the Spear in a
Yes, I watched that.
brutal backstabbing turn of events. What?
It was pretty bad.
It was bad, man. It was like rough, but it was fun because like I like games that you don't know who's gonna win until it's over. You know what I mean? Those are fun games, and that is one of those games. And so if you're interested in play testing, James has a Discord, and that information is also in the description. So awesome. So
One of the most recent updates we've made is like to that effect. It's end game scoring is a bit more up in the air now. So
okay,
Nice.
that's awesome.
So he's saying you have a shot, Kritter.
I always had a shot. I always had a shot.
I didn't in that game, if I remember correctly.
Hello, everyone in the chat, by the
Kritter
way.
was going to win, but go ahead.
So did
Sorry,
I.
I thought Kritter was going to win that.
So
I
did
thought she was.
Unfortunately, I did not. It was close. We don't need to talk about this. We don't need to rehash it. I'm not bitter at all that I lost, but I spent one like an amazingly good card too early. So
All you have to do is come back and play again.
I want to. Now that the show's ending, I intend to get in on another playtest. As long as you let me
Me
stream
too.
while it happens. So haha.
That sounds like fun.
Oh
We
my
should all
gosh,
play.
Peter
for sure.
Schwenkel.
Yeah.
Thank you
I'll stream it then.
so much for the reminder in YouTube. I really appreciate it. We need to talk about spoilers before we get into the episode, which we are about to do. And what we always do on this, if you're new, is we talk only show spoilers at the beginning. So now we've had 8 episodes. We can talk about all 8 episodes. And we're going to avoid book spoilers completely until the end. And then I'll throw up a spoiler tag. We'll warn everybody, and that'll be what happens. One thing I do want to clarify, though, that I haven't really thought about. We have gotten now to the end of the Eye of the World. Are we allowing book spoilers for book 1? Because book 1 is like semi-spoiled by the show, if you think about it. You know what I mean?
Personally, I would say no. Because I know a lot of... I've been keeping my ear to the ground with, like, reactors who are new to the series.
Okay.
And quite a lot of people who are new to the series are picking up the books after this.
Okay.
And so they want to experience the Eye of the World for the first time.
I love it.
And I think they should be able to.
Yes.
That
That's
is
super
true.
cool.
Book
That's true. I have two
spoilers
people that
then
just
are
started reading the books.
an absolute no. So before we get started in all of this, let's just...
And there's enough to talk about in the show on its own
Oh,
without us having to go into book spoilers right now.
Totally agreed. All right, so just to introduce the rest of ourselves before we get started into episode 8, which is what we're here for. I am Kritter. I am on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I'm Egwene Alvier on Twitter also. I'm on Instagram. All of my details are in the description of this video. And so that's me, Kay. Winespring, why don't you introduce yourself?
That was so fast and impressive.
Thanks.
That's pretty good.
I am Winespring Cafe from winespringcafe.com, where I provide all of your WheelUpTime themed recipes that you definitely need to eat because they're delicious. So try them out. And you can find me on Twitter at just Winespring Cafe, and the same on Instagram. That's where I am.
You should
So
do
come say
some
hi.
magical snacks and then I can make some.
Magical snacks.
Okay,
They're all magical.
for sure.
If you haven't tried them yet, they're incredible.
Yes, they are.
For sure.
Okay, Tavern, what's
A
up?
different power.
All right, let's see. Tavern Tavern on TikTok and Twitch. Oh, TikTok and Twitter. Drake088 on Twitch, but I haven't been on there in a little while. I have to get that going. I'm also Tavern Tavern on Instagram. I have merch, such as this shirt on Redbubble.
Super cool.
Woohoo!
I have a fledgling YouTube channel that I haven't really got going, so I don't really, it's there. And be ready. Oh, wait, what's he wearing?
Is that his?
Well, that's Stone Dog's threefold kush.
Oh, is that
Surprising.
your
Nice.
merch? Nice.
Nice. So
Very cool.
I for Christmas I did get a Cricut 3, and I will be getting a 3D printer.
Oh, so cool.
Expect more merch, and I'll be able to do customized merch on the fly, which would be awesome. And that is me.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's see. I saw something in the chat that reminded me that thank you for the sub, Sinan Mache. I'm bad at this. Also, this is what it was. Okay, so somebody asked Winespring if she had Age of Legends rings. So let's
We were just talking about that, the pre-show.
we were. So did you 3D printed those?
Yes, yeah.
You send me the files after.
two awesome here. Yeah, we'll get those out to you guys for sure. Sure,
Nice.
for sure.
What is inside of your ice dye ring? Do you have a stone in there?
No.
Oh, it's just empty. So
If I get it.
you're an accepted
So
then.
you're just unaccepted then? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Fair
can
enough.
just
It's a
color
gold-
it in with
it's
a
little
marker if
gold
I want to.
dome. The 3D gold dome that she's got in there as part of the file, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, that is pretty cool. Dawson Cowles. I used to do ads for Micro Machines at warp speed. Haha. Haha. I can talk pretty
Wait.
fast. Let's leave it at that.
Isn't the golden one like Swan wears?
It was.
Swan
Swans
did
was
have a
pretty
gold
yeah.
one.
Yeah, the Amberlin.
Ooh, I think
I
she's
don't know
trying
how
to say
comfortable
something
I feel
here.
calling your mother, though.
Okay, guys, we're here. We're finally okay. Let's
Do it.
we've got introductions
Focus.
out of the way. Let's talk about episode 8 because holy. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the first image from it because the cold open was pretty fun. I think
Fire.
So good.
so
It was a
good.
dick tease. What we like the language on this show, by the way. No one told me that.
I mean, dude,
You're
you
good.
Good time to
There-
ask.
follow
right?
your bliss. It's
Yeah.
um
Happy.
whatever you want. So we got
That
Luz.
cold open was a cold hard dick tease.
Did you not like it? I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, I liked it, but like
was amazing.
it made you want, the thing.
It did make you want the thing. I know what you're talking about. I think what you're
sure.
saying is that it made you want more things from the Age of Legends with this particular guy acting as Luz Theron. Am I right?
Yes,
'Cause that's what I'm
that's correct.
saying.
I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes as well, but
Not yet.
Griff mentioned how Alexander Karim, who's playing Luz Theron, watched a bunch of footage of Yosha Strodowski's performance to prepare for it and tried to like copy his mannerisms and
Whoa.
tics.
That's cool.
And since I've been watching
That's
it
so
back
cool.
after hearing that, like you can see it. You can sort of see how he's sitting down at one point with his head in his hands. That's like a Rand move.
That is awesome. So Nim Heathrill says the Age of Legends looks like Starfleet for one visual detail. And you know what? Now that you say that, it kind of does. That's awesome.
Lewis, Theron, you can't use the power. My
I've had an
crappy
ongoing
My
war
totally
with my
crappy
dad.
Kirk.
That the Wheel of Time is sci-fi and not fantasy.
I'd say like both, post-apocalyptic
Like,
sci-fi
oh,
fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
He still
sure.
won't agree even after seeing that latest episode. Like,
Well, maybe
we're
someday.
just flying cars. What more do you want?
All right.
Kritter J says just watch the Winter Dragon on YouTube if you want a
No,
certain
no.
thing out of
No.
out of the
No.
cold open.
It's
So-
really good. If you haven't seen it yet, please
You
go
need
watch
to
it.
stop.
So underrated.
Right now.
So underrated.
So
Better off
go
with the
watch
origin story, Virgin.
Oh.
speaking of
God.
Starfleet, this the architecture was
Oh.
awesome. I thought it was so cool.
Stunning.
Yeah, so
Yes.
the White Tower actually resembles this architecture.
Yeah, it
Which
really
is kinda
does.
cool.
The
Oh,
rounded tops.
no, you guys have bought this, right? Do you remember in episode 1
Yeah.
before they go to the Two Rivers?
Yeah, that's the
Um,
same city.
Yeah, it's not the White Tower. It's like there's those ruined buildings amongst all the karst rocks.
Yeah. So
and they
when
look
Moiraine,
like skyscrapers almost.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
the
when
same,
Moiraine and
like,
Lan see
that.
the guy
Yeah.
being shielded
Yeah.
or stilled or whatever or gentled, they see the ruins, and that's this exact same thing. But the architecture design is the White Tower is very reminiscent. Actually, Tar Valon is very reminiscent of this, especially the building here on the front right, and all the one with the rounded tops. It looks amazing. This shot made me so happy inside.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I this shot to
incredible.
me is like we're not just in a fantasy land, okay? There's a little bit more going for this than just fantasy. It's sci-fi. It's very,
And-
huh?
Remind me in spoilers. I've got something in the spoiler section about that shot.
Okay, that works.
Ooh,
And then I
okay.
always forget her
Cool.
name. Latra, is it Latra?
Yeah.
Latra.
Yeah. So this woman didn't have a ton to say other than "Don't be an idiot," right? and
Don't do it.
But then when he's like, if we did it together, it would work. It like killed me. I was like, you're probably right.
Oh gosh, right? Oh man.
No, though. They're
And
like
the fate of the world being decided in a nursery. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or, like the female's half of the sauce could be tainted as well as the male half.
You're right. It could go
We
either
don't know.
way. It could go either way.
Winespring,
Never know.
since you brought up the nursery,
Mhm.
right? And this is jumping ahead, but this is mirrored in the Rand scene when Ishmael has him in his little dream thing, and he's
Gotham.
talking. He's got Joya.
Yeah, we're
and
talking
Bloody
about
Gotham.
the dark one here.
Yeah, same thing. Fate at
N-
that
not-
point was
not in this
decided
section.
basically in a nursery. But yes,
Oh yeah, I
I
see
know
what
what you're saying, but
yeah.
I think it's out now. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was actually in the like the subtitles maybe, or like the behind
It's
the
in the
episode.
X-ray until they
That's it.
realize and remove it.
Oh, they removed it? Oh, I didn't know
No,
that.
I'm saying they will.
Oh,
So once
okay.
they realize that they screwed up,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. That
Okay.
that makes sense. Much like the images of the Sean Chan before the episode dropped. It was like, oh, that's not supposed to be
Oh.
there, and then they removed it.
All those promo shots that everybody was leaking out.
Mhm.
Well, not really a leak because they were promo shots. Whatever. You know what I mean. Ridiculous.
Anyways, I wish they wouldn't have shown those, by the way. I just feel like I wanted
me too.
something shocked. Also, like, Padden Fane, now that we've seen it, it's like, okay, him with a box, like, what's in the box? It just felt to me, like, really obvious. But, you know, so I don't know. That, I feel like a couple things...
Schrodinger's cat.
I feel like a
What's in
couple
the
things
box?
fully got spoiled by those promos, so I wish they wouldn't have gotten out. But it is what it is. The moment has passed. So yeah, I don't know. Cold Open, pretty great in my opinion. I just
Sounds
hope
good,
we get
yes.
another one set in that same time period, maybe in season 2. Fingers crossed.
What does he call the baby? Was it Chalindra?
Yeah, it's like Sweetheart. or
Sweetheart?
something. Yeah, it was cool.
I thought that was so
Aw.
beautiful.
Jalinda.
Such a beautiful word.
Jalinda. But
So-
I don't
What
think
was
that's
it?
the name. I think
No,
Jalinda.
yeah, it just meant Sweetheart. It was
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
he
just
was
sweetheart,
saying,
like calling her
calm down or
sweetheart.
something.
Yeah, so
Might be sweetheart.
my favorite thing about that was the fact that we got to hear the Old Tongue as a fluent language
Yeah.
being spoken in
Yes.
a conversation, and I was mesmerized by that. I was like, wow,
I think a
we
lot of
finally got the
People would
Old
be
Tongue.
mesmerized by that scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in my TikTok comments was like, what's the deal? Like, did they just speak a different language so that we would know it was a different time? And I was like, I think that was the old tongue. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's the language they were speaking at the time.
Hello.
But-
This image you've got up
yeah.
on the screen right now, what do you guys see there?
You see the dragon, and blue instead of red and gold is Rand, which is also
The
a spoiler
dragon?
for. Yeah, you see the dragon head up top with the eyeball. The wings
Okay, so
behind
I
it.
see something completely different. In
Looks
that
like a
photo.
fish, but yes.
What do you see?
No, it's the dragon fang.
It is the dragon thing, yes, absolutely.
It's half of the ancient symbol.
How did
Yeah,
I
but
not
it's in the-
notice that?
It's a dragon. It's a dragon in the shape of the dragon fang.
Oh, well, I'm embarrassed. But yeah, no, I think you're completely right.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, it might be that. It might be that.
I think it's,
Yeah, it's definitely a dragon in the shape of a dragon fang. Yeah.
I love
What
that.
did you say about the blue eye?
See,
So-
so do you?
In the-
I was
in
just
the-
gonna say, do you think the male Aes Sedai all have like a pin like that, but theirs isn't a fancy dragon? Theirs is just the
Fang?
fang,
Maybe.
and then
Ooh,
his
him.
is like
He got the
the
embellished
super
one.
extra one.
Could be.
This
That would be
huge ass emblem.
So with the blue eye, and not to, I'm going to try to do this without spoiling anything. There is someone in the books later on that rather than having the red and blue, I'm sorry, the red and gold that Rand creates for the pins, wears blue and something. He has a dragon of blue and I think silver, if I'm not mistaken. So it just amazes me that there's this black coat. There's a dragon with blue on it instead of red.
That's
That's what I
Cool.
was getting.
Very
at.
cool.
Age of Legends dragon.
I love that detail. I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a good point. A lot of Rand stuff is red, for sure. So I guess I'm gonna skip ahead just because like this image. Okay, everyone, gird your loins. We're gonna have a disturbing image in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so yeah, this like did anybody else jump out of their goddamn skin at this image? Like I don't want to. Also, actually, before we move on, I moved on. I did see Loyal's Library had a really cool comment. The behind the scenes says that Rafe wrote that scene in English, and it was Sarah Nakamura and the dialect coach who suggested going in the old tongue. That's a great that's a great note, I
Wow.
guess.
My question was, why the fuck did you write that scene in English? That's a unless that's in the old tongue, the whole scene is terrible.
I get
Well,
it,
I
what
wouldn't
you're
go. I wouldn't go that far, but
It is better in the old tongue.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a
whatever.
very lackluster scene if they just stood talking it in English.
yeah,
being
that's
that
true.
And it would be
flowering
like
out,
it would be
putting
like
in-
if they got some old used up actor to do it in English with some other old non actor and they called it some kind of Dragon Cold or Cold Dragon or maybe Winter Dragon or something.
Something like that. All right, I'm gonna take this image off the screen.
Are we on this again?
I just wanted to say,
We're done.
I just wanted to say that this scared the shit out of me, and of course, immediately
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, oh, it's a dream. It's gotta be a dream. But at the same time, man, those jump scares are effective. What can I say?
Do you ever
He
feel
did really
dumb
good
when-
with
She
that
laid
jump
there for
scare.
so long.
Do you ever feel
And
dumb
then they got
when
you-
you immediately say to yourself, "Oh my god, it's a dream"? Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
And then you,
And they
you feel
got us-
smart for a second, and then you're like, "No, I'm not smart. That's obvious."
It's so obvious. Like,
And they got us twice because we had the first jump scare, and then when he comes out of the dream, they had the exact same conversation, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, is it happening again?" So yeah, I was kind of nervous for both of those.
more Shaddy in the Twitch chat coming to the defense of Billy Zane, by the way. I just wanted to point that out really quick. I'm sure he
And I
sees
like how
that.
you've got
That's right.
a professional streamer. I like how you have the chats popping up on the screen.
It only works on Twitch.
Looks good,
So
yeah.
anybody
Mine
who says
still looks
anything on
good.
It
YouTube,
looks
I will
good.
say it out loud. But yeah, it'll work on the Twitch.
I have people yelling at me about Billy Zane over there too. So
Billy Zane is an important figure in the Wheel of Time community. Okay, we will never forget his service.
never forget.
Nynaeve said in your Twitch chat that it was quite a good twist. It's like dreams had a pull on the real world, and it's true because if they're going with the eye of the world is like the ball, then the closer you get to that, the like thinner the line between reality and the dream world becomes.
Yeah.
So it's true.
And we actually see that. We actually see that when we get to the part of the board. I've got something to bring up about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also a good thing to point out that it was similar, right? Like she said the same thing in the dream world that she ended up saying in the real world. So it's like really interesting how much dreams can reflect reality in this. And one more from More Shaddy. Billy Zane cameo. Hashtag get it trending on Twitter, you guys.
Oh.
Hey, I think he did fine.
Go.
Make it happen.
Okay. I will only accept Billy Zane in the Wheel of Time show if he is Val and Luca.
What if right at the end of the episode, after Ram blows the Dark One's face off and walks off, we just see
Billy
Billy Zane from behind one of the columns and he goes, "I win again, lose third."
Somebody needs to Photoshop that immediately. How is that not
Perfect.
already on
God.
YouTube?
Definitely need that.
Okay,
Yeah,
we've
that'd be
got
amazing.
to move on
That
from
is
the
a good
cold
idea.
open.
Okay.
We are
All right,
lingering.
We gotta get past it.
Speaking of the Dark One, or Billy Zane or whatever, we had our mask boy show up in this one again in a suit this time, which was fun.
Yes.
Very stylish.
He is sharp.
I like the style.
It is a good
You
style.
like it?
Very much. I like the fact that you can tell he's not from the same place everyone else is from. But you can't put your finger on why. Well, maybe you can, but
The burning embers in the eyes, I think, is the big giveaway for me. But no, also
no, I meant by the way he's dressed.
I
not
know.
Yeah,
necessarily-
like his dress shirt. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's,
very unique.
Loyal's Library
Yeah.
says it right. He's got the drip, for sure,
Drip.
where everyone
Yeah.
else
I
does
got
not.
The dress.
I got this shot because I wanted to include the sword. Because I
Oh.
couldn't see. I was trying to. There's very. I mean, it's a very unique sword. But I was trying to see if there were any markings or if there was like a heron or anything
Does
resembling
it just
a symbol. But
disappear? Does he throw it down?
I don't know what he leaves after this. I think I don't know. Or actually, after he talks to me, sits down. I don't know what he does with the damn sword.
I don't know
see it
either,
after that.
actually.
Like, the next thing I remember is Ran shooting the arrow into his eye and then him pushing it in. And like,
Yes, and
I don't remember where the sword was during that.
He
So
pushes
did
it,
it
and
just
he might have-
disappear?
it's possible it's a dream. I mean, totally possible.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know what the symbols on his mask are.
Yeah, I did
Because I was
notice
somewhere-
them when they like
Yeah, there's a
sucked in on
close-up.
him.
Well, on the close up. There's a shot in there a screenshot that I got of him, where you can kind of see like on his forehead, up above his right eye. Do you see the?
Yeah, they're like swirly. That looks like a
they're-
cougar
yeah.
almost, like a big cat.
Weird. He's got them all over the place,
Let me zoom in
which
here.
is cool. And when you
We're covered
So
up.
there's like tattoos or symbols or something all over that mask. I couldn't tell what they were even when he was shrinking it into his eyeball.
Yeah,
You get to see a little bit, but it's pretty cool.
I like it.
I thought that effect was great. It
Yeah.
immediately made me think of the Mask of Mirrors
Yeah,
when
same.
it was like twisting inwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's what it was, but yeah, that's probably what it was, right? So if that's how they're visualizing the Mask of Mirrors, I think they got it bang on.
Yeah.
And I know we're not in spoilers, but I don't think those string of words
that
is a
words
spoiler
makes any
for
sense,
anyone
yeah.
who doesn't know.
I
Yeah.
think it goes back to what you were saying. I think it goes back to what you're saying, that the closer you are to the source of the power, the more control and the more realistic it is. So when he was showing up in their dreams early on in the season, it wasn't even this detailed. It was less detailed than this.
Yeah.
And so now that they're close enough, when he pushes it away, he doesn't need it anymore, so he can manifest himself as he is, which is kind of cool.
We've been trying to reach you about your Waygate's extended warranty, says Cygnus Rising. Him in the suit. I kind of believe it.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I agree that I thought the effect was really cool, how it like sucked back into his face. There have been some things this season that I'm kind of like, as far as effects go, not the cleanest, but that I liked how it looked personally. And I understand that like during COVID, one of the biggest, most impacted departments in any like film or TV show is going to be like the CGI people. So no shame. There's just some things that looked
they
really
said they
good.
were unable to curate a lot of it like they would normally be able to. And
Yeah.
that was why some of it looks bad and some of it doesn't.
Right. It's just kind of like, I guess it is what it is, and but thankfully this little particular scene was pretty cool. I liked it. I don't know. A lot of people have complained
That was
about
a cool effect.
his. We actually have a picture of it sucking into his face. So,
Sucking
Bing.
into his-
I mean, what else would you? How else would you call it?
and there are the drawings.
Yeah, and there are the
Yeah, that's
drawings.
totally a Mask of Mirrors.
Is it weird that half wanted it to be Tom Ellis since it looks a bit like Netflix's Lucifer? I don't think that's weird. I think a lot of people like that guy. Have you accepted our
What was
Lord
this
and
guy's
Savior Shaitan in your life? Sorry, the chat is on fire about this Dark Lord figure right now.
Outstanding acting on his part.
Yeah, he was really
Just
good.
gonna throw that out. It was
I
weird
thought
because
he
there were
was
moments where he sounded French. There were moments where he had like a little French accent going on, and it was just I couldn't place where he was from, which was amazing. It was awesome.
Sweden.
Is he Swedish?
I think he's half Swedish, half Lebanese, maybe, but don't quote me on that last half.
It's awesome. He was amazing.
He was really, really good.
Yeah, his name's Faraz. And yeah, he was great.
Big fan of this guy, and hoping will be. Well, I mean, too bad he
Yes.
died at the end of the episode, I guess.
I also have to say, like, I saw some like a new viewer criticize his acting in the scene where like Ran turns around, still in the dream. I know we're going way later on here.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but yeah.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, we're talking about him.
They were like, they were criticizing him, being like, "Oh no, don't do that," and I was like, "Nah, that's exactly what he's because he is faking that. Like he was acting that perfectly."
Oh no, yeah. The setup amongst the setup was incredible. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Oh no!
A lot of layering.
Please don't. Well, somebody mentioned something actually that I forgot to. I keep the chat as I'm having problems keeping up with the chat, but I did want to bring this up because a lot of people are wondering why in the cold open they say Latcher calls him the Dragon Reborn instead of the Dragon, and I feel like that can just be attributed to the fact that this is the Wheel of Time and it's supposed to be happening over and over and over again, and I assume the dragon is supposed to be a figure going back in perpetuity, right? Like that's my guesstimate. And so it didn't even ping me whenever they said the Dragon Reborn, because I figured, sure, just like Luz is Rand's, pre-dragon, Luz had a pre-dragon himself. Like, so, like that's probably just, that just makes sense. To me, do you guys disagree with
I have
that?
a few theories.
Okay,
That's
bring it
one
on.
of them. That's one of them. Another one is it's just an error in the subtitles and they just meant to put dragon. But like somebody who doesn't know the series very well maybe was doing the subs. I don't know.
Okay.
I think Sarah Nakamura would have had issues with that.
Alright.
Well, yeah, but it could have been the subtitles could have been done like right before the
True.
episode went out.
That's true.
I don't know the production pipeline. The other one is that they say the actual words being said is Aman Sindai, which I don't know what it translates to in the books, but I know that I've heard that phrase before. So it is straight from the books, and I feel like they wouldn't have put the wrong translation for something straight from the books
Yeah.
when it comes to like the old tongue and language. So yeah, I haven't actually checked what Aman Sindai means in book terms.
How dare you? We invited you on this stream, and
Yeah,
you didn't do
you weren't
your
prepared.
homework. Literally, I'm joking. I
Damn it, James.
didn't either. I didn't do it either. Black Tower Podcast, welcome to the chat and YouTube. I'm pivoting really quickly. The dragon is reborn to restore balance to the pattern. Doesn't always need a free/semi-free dark one for that to be needed. Yeah, so it's kind of like the dragon is just a figure. That's my theory.
Sometimes it can just be the Sean Charm.
Right. Or, weird people with super sick jewelry on boats that create tidal waves to kill little girls, since we don't know their name technically.
No big
yet.
deal.
That little girl is so toast.
She's so toast.
She's so toast.
So yeah, we're in the Blight. Did you guys like how the Blight looked, by the way? That was I heard that it was meant to be sort of more on location, and it ended up more in like a soundstage of sorts, but I haven't actually watched the behind the scenes, so don't quote me on that.
I think it was clever. It wouldn't look cool, but it was clever, just like the Ways was clever, where they made it a modular set so they could have the exact same pieces and shift them around, because the Blight looked like the Blight in whichever direction you looked.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant, honestly, if you want to save money and stuff. So for the effect that they were going for, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I did think there was a weird, and I'm gonna. It didn't look like they were having problems traversing it. They were just walking around. But when they got to that scene when they heard the horns and Moiraine looked through the Blight and she could still see Tarwin's Gap and see the Trollocs and see the fortress just past Tarwin's Gap.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, they really haven't gone that far. So in that sense, they made it look like it was harder, more difficult, and it's taken them that long to get that little, ways.
Oh, that's a good note.
Yeah, so anyways, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked how it looked. I thought it was cool, very mangrove-ish, which is not exactly how I pictured it. But then again, the way I pictured it was like almost cartoonish. Like over here we've got a random tree with like bulbous things that are popping and excreting acid, and over here we've got like tentacles coming out of the ground. Like that's not something that's going to show up in this show at least. So the way they did it, I liked.
My headcanon of the Blight before had always just been like any piece of art from a swamp in Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
Like
so you did
putrid,
see it kind of like this, like swampy, like mangrove-ish. So this wasn't probably that far from your headcanon, huh?
Yeah, and I really like how the I think the director, Kieran Donnelly, maybe, if might be how you pronounce his name, he said in the behind the scenes how the sort of the set designer Andre had come up with this idea for the trees sort of looking like spiders, being these 4 or 5-legged creatures that are all, and you can see that from the top-down view very much.
Yeah,
it looks
for
like
sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding, more
crawling.
Shaddy? Okay, so more Shaddy in Twitch is saying the original plan was to shoot in the Canary Islands.
Yes,
That's
that is
cool.
true.
That would have been so cool. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, they show a shot of like a photo of the original location in that behind the scenes that they were intending to use before they had to build a set instead.
Well, I liked how it turned. I obviously that would have been sick, but
I
I
did
feel
too.
like
I loved
they
it.
did really, really a great job with what they had. Also like the towers of Malkir, that was cool. That was a nice little touch. I liked it.
I just thought of
It
Matt.
was those moments that helped me actually enjoy it the most, I think.
Yeah.
Was seeing like the 7 towers, kind of having that, oh my gosh, gasp moment
There it is.
amongst all, like with all the density there. Yeah.
I have to say, I think we're actually behind in the episode, so I don't know if you got a screenshot of this part or if we just skipped past it. But I was bawling when Lan and Nynaeve.
Oh yeah. Let me pull it up. Yeah. We can get off the Blight.
Before this chronologically, but
You know,
there it is.
sometimes we like to hop around, okay? I appreciate you keeping me on task, though, so thank you very much. Okay, but, no, really, we definitely
couldn't
need,
miss this
For
one.
sure.
we need to talk about this, because it was a major highlight for me. Also, can I just say that there's a little bit of tension going on in the
Yes.
Twitch chat, and I would like everyone to please be kind to each other. We're here to have fun. Hopefully, if you're here, you like or love, like me, the Wheel of Time books, and you are either watching and have thoughts about the show, or you really like the show, which is where I'm at. And so I would just ask everyone to, feel free to express your opinions, but try not to put other people down for theirs, especially if they're positive, because it's really fun to be positive. Trust me, because that's the way I operate. I enjoy having fun. And so that's what I'm doing. So that's all I'm going to say
If
about
you
that.
hate the show, feel free to comment on my videos because it will help the algorithm, and I will just delete them after.
I am not asking you to leave. I'm just asking you to be kind and be respectful. That's all. So thanks for being here. Let's talk about Lan and Nynaeve. I feel like anybody, book reader or show watcher, would appreciate this scene because it happened in the books, more or less, in this fashion, kind of. Obviously, things are always just slightly different. Winespring, how did this make you feel?
It was very sweet. I agree. I'm glad we got to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about what Nynaeve had to say to Lan about her tracking skills.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
You want her to keep
I'm
that
not.
close to the vest longer?
Yeah. I don't know. It was
want,
just.
I want to know what it is, and I want to know if Rafe knows what it is.
The tell?
Weirdly, more than I want to know what it is. Yeah.
Tell? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
the tell.
what is it?
I mean, I went back and looked. I was like, are they going to tell us the tell? And I saw no tells. I don't know.
You mean?
I mean, of course, I would see it, you guys. If I don't see it, it's not there. So
You didn't
that's what I'm
zoom in
saying.
on the ground where it said tell.
No, I think it's
horseshoes?
it's little pieces of long brown
looked.
hair because if she's anything like me, she sheds like
Oh my gosh.
you wouldn't believe.
Everywhere.
Yeah, but that's a wig, so it doesn't. It doesn't come out the same.
It's not a wig in the show, okay? Also, could I just say thank you for the follow,
Cheers.
Faye919 and Fizzlegig. Thank you for the bits, appreciate it. So, yeah, I the tell thing to me, I was like, oh really? What is it, Nynaeve? Like,
Listen, I gave up at that point. I was like, I'm not even gonna ask.
We're gonna suspend our disbelief on that one. Basically, I saw somebody on Twitter that was like, okay, they were in horses galloping, and a horde of Trollocs were following them. That's how she tracked them. And then, yeah, that makes a lot of
That
sense.
checks out.
Or maybe, or perhaps she just
Fine.
told him. She just told him that she tracked Moiraine instead of him to make him feel better.
I love how we're all just.
Nah, that's definitely not her character.
We're all just
I don't think she
cracking
ever does
jokes about
that.
this 'cause
Right,
none of us are ready
Yeah.
for the emotional pressure of actually discussing the scene.
I know.
Yeah.
I do want to say before we actually discuss the scene, Loyal's Library says, I thought the tell sounded stupid, but someone on Twitter said it might be some way that silk brushes on certain hairy plants. Something small
That's
Lan
right.
may not notice, but
Yes.
Nynaeve is a plant expert would. That's actually a really good point. Makes you feel a little bit better about things.
So cool.
Also, just so that we're clear, Moiraine and Rand stop to rest by the Towers of Malkier.
Uh-huh.
Immediately after this scene happens, which is how it happens in the books.
Oh yeah.
He
This
says
scene
this
happens
when
at
they
Malcolm,
stop
yeah.
and rest.
Yeah.
They're overlooking the Towers of Malkier in the Blight.
I never caught that. That's a good catch.
Wow. Okay, so
Well,
there's
there you
Cool
go.
detail.
they're parallels for
Thank you.
sure. Thank you for the
Yes.
follow, Trunks 1030. All right, so let's talk about the meat potatoes here of the scene.
Ishtar, we got your green man. I got a picture of it.
A green.
When
Don't just
What?
We'll get to it.
when Daniel
Talk, the
Henney
scene. Talk about the scene.
Okay, thank you.
when Daniel Henney says wisdom, I get wet.
So sweet.
Same.
My face, like tears.
time to change this.
For sure.
And in my underpants.
Yeah, Fizzlegig is right. The meat and potatoes are all the lady tears shed during this scene, including mine. It was straight out of a romance novel, but that's why we love Lan. And Nynaeve, obviously. I thought it was nice how he called her Wisdom, you know, because that's what he's been calling her. It was a callback to this whole season. And then she immediately jumps into, well, wisdoms can't wed, right? And so like, but there's other things that I can do. You know, I might go to the tower, and who knows
What if
about
I
Aes
wasn't
Sedai. So she's basically just like trying to rationalize, you know, we can be together. This is going to be fine. And then he just immediately
I think
breaks
there's a
up with
term
her.
for this, right?
What
It's
it-
like
Stomping?
DTR. You're like defining the relationship. Is that what she's trying to do here with Lan?
I think
I thought
that's
you were
it.
going DTW.
That's totally what it is.
We got a hype train.
It's like, how into me are you, Lan?
Hype trade. Thank you, Black Tower Podcast. And also
Hype
Trunks,
train.
thank you for the Prime sub. I very much appreciate it. I don't think I don't think she was choosing to go to the White Tower so she can wed. I think she was
No.
always, I don't know, because like Egwene was going to go back there, and if I know Nynaeve, she's going to go to protect Egwene. That would be like her, that's how she would rationalize, even though she would really want to learn. And I don't know. That's my theory. I'm not sure.
I think it's a bonus that she might be able to wed for going to the White Tower.
100%.
right?
Definitely a
Yeah,
bonus.
that's all. That's how I saw it. She was, and maybe I can, whatever. But yeah, it was so good to see this straight from the books. So good.
Yeah.
Do we see a plot line where like Lan's been stubborn about something and Nynaeve threatens to choose the green? Like, fine. I'll have as many
And
orders as
their
I
sense of
want.
humor?
What are you gonna do then?
The sense of humor that I've seen between them on the show, I can totally see that. I totally see that.
I can
Yeah.
too. I can. And I think we are going to make it back to the tower. Sorry. Uller, I don't know how you want me to pronounce your name, but Uller says he wants to
Uller.
see some training in the tower. And I think we
Be
will.
awesome.
I think we're going to meet Elaine, who has been cast, and I'm not going to explain who this character is aside from this character that's been cast. It's definitely going to be in season 2. I think we're going to meet Elaine in the tower. I think Matt's going to be around the tower, and I think hopefully, fingers crossed, because it's one of my favorite scenes ever, we're
Yeah.
going to get Matt fighting
I can confirm
The
this.
quarterstaff fight.
yeah, the quarterstaff fight, and I can't really
This Riff said in an interview somewhere that they're planning to pick up Barney's story. Sorry, not Barney. Matt's story with Donaldson, the new actor, from around his plot in book 3.
perfect.
So that
Awesome.
to me definitely signals that epic fight in the water training grounds.
Which we're not going to explain, other than to say that it's a super cool fight that happens in the White Tower.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. So exciting to hear.
yeah,
Excited about that.
I need
Yeah.
more White Tower stuff. I feel like one of the strongest, episode 6 was one of my favorites, and it was in the tower pretty much exclusively, and I loved that. It was all the politics. It was the Swan and Moiraine romance. It was just, I'm all about it. Pretty excited.
There was a lot of intrigue in that episode. It was really good.
There was, yeah. And then just add like the chaos that is Matt and like the like cute magic school aspect, because I'm a sucker for the magic school like plots that you get from the novices training, and it's gonna make for some
Yes.
solid show like episodes in my opinion.
To mention
I'm
that
not gonna lie,
Moiraine goes
though.
into that. Moiraine goes into that whole speech about when she was having problems channeling as a accepted.
Elida, definitely.
Well, yeah, I think they're talking about her, but that whole thing where you're already in your head, you're going, "Holy shit, their training was horrible. They're
Yeah.
getting beat in the middle of the friggin' night."
Yeah,
So
actually,
it sets that up nicely.
that reminds me of something, and we're not gonna get into any spoilers, but I do want to follow up with you, Tavern, about something. Have you finished New Spring?
I am about 3/4 of the way through New Spring. I stopped when the show started because I didn't want to get my shit all jumbled.
That's fair.
I'm almost done with it.
So, are you familiar with the how that thing that Moiraine said in this episode? How there was somebody who was really stern that she kind of looked up like. So you're familiar with how
Eating
that?
her ass.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
There's no New Spring. What? There is a New Spring. What are we talking about? Sorry, the chat's confused me.
Who said there's no New Spring?
Nimhithril and Twitch says, I don't know, Kritter, Witcher's Yennefer's training did put some standards high. You're right. But I mean, I grew up reading and watching Harry Potter, so any magic
Yeah,
school.
true.
I watched The Magicians. Any magic school sequences.
The Magicians is such a good show.
I
Such
loved
an
it.
underrated show.
Such an
Never hear
underrated
anyone
show.
talk about that.
Well, I'm a fan, so count me in. I also have Hale Appleman as my fan cast for Asmodean, so hopefully he makes the jump, because that would be lit. in my
Who
opinion.
is he in?
He's well, I just Elliot. He's Elliot in The Magicians.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, he's perfect. All right, we can't talk
Yeah,
about
Who did they
you have
just
in that?
cast? Who did they just cast?
Asmodean. They haven't said who the cast is yet, have they? Like they,
No,
Okay,
not for that
so-
show. I'm talking about for Wheel of Time.
I know.
They just cast somebody that people were getting all drippy about.
I just have to say, my fan cast for Asmodean
Amanda?
is Tim Minchin.
Tim
Minchin's-
Minchin. I'll have to Google this guy.
Tim Minchin, oh, he's so good.
He's an Australian
good.
musician, comedian, rock star.
I have friends. Listen, no joke. I have some friends that don't live too far from me that are on first name basis with him. Like they hang out with him every time he has a concert near here.
That's sick.
He's amazing.
That is really funny. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
I
and
saw him
pull a
once. He's great.
picture of him up, but it's tough. Okay, so let's do
Oh,
this.
dude,
This is
dude,
Tim
pull a
Minchin,
picture. He is Asmodean.
who we don't actually know from the show. So let's move on. Okay.
Oh no, not like
No.
actually, but
No,
like
I
in my
know.
head.
I know.
All right. Where were we? We were just past
Uh,
the "I love you, Nynaeve" part.
Yeah. Well, we can never get past that. Let's be honest. But
This is true.
if we
Never.
did, if we were to get past it, we've already talked about Rand and his scary dream. Oh, we've got the little, we got this little guy here, our Sa Angreal, which was a neat touch, I think. Sage Dog, thank you for the sub on YouTube.
Nice. I have a question about this sign grill.
Yeah, what's up?
So somebody on my TikTok was like, well, the one-time use sign grill. I'm like, what do you mean one-time use? They were like, well, yeah, Moiraine was holding what was left of it. I said, no. That's a whole different thing. That wasn't a one-time use. It was a sign grill, right? I just want to make sure that I was like, in my own
Oh,
correct in my head. I don't know why we're doubled on here, but that's cool.
it's I was banning the bot and I forgot that I was sharing my screen.
We look awesome.
Or triple.
Sorry.
We're
Guys,
professionals.
This
around
is
here,
a
people.
professional stream always. Like that's what you can expect. You
So-
witnessed me firsthand banning a bot. So
So yeah, it's not a single-use sign grill. He takes this with him. If I'm not mistaken, because I know he doesn't give it back to Moiraine. At least I don't see him giving it back.
yeah, to me this is the little fat man.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought
Yeah,
too.
which we
He doesn't have a sword though.
I
Doesn't
know,
happen until much
know,
later in
but
the
it's
books, but yeah.
it's like Rand. I without getting into spoilers, because Rand currently has this Sa Angreal, which we're used to Rand having a Sa Angreal to use, and for me that's this.
Counterpoint: the little fat man's an angriel, not a sangriel.
Roger that. Okay.
True.
So, do you think? Well, I guess did it show this after the
What?
confrontation with the Dark One?
They don't show it. He has it when the whole light goes off, and then they don't show it again.
So I wonder.
They show
Why?
it in the very opening scene of episode 1 as well,
Yeah.
when Moraine's getting.
Is that one that Moiraine had?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's
You can see like by the way the knees are bent up that it's like.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then him saying, "You always have a plan. You always have a plan within a plan within a plan." That means she's been carrying that thing around for a long time,
yeah.
just for whoever it is, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Good little
Yep.
detail.
You know, I guess we'll
Not
see if we
surprising
see it.
for Moiraine.
I
She
guess.
probably used it during Beltane as well.
I think this.
I mean-
this is for men only, isn't it?
She did talk about all the men pouring their power into it.
Yeah.
Um,
So she may have had
Yeah.
because in the book she has her own
Yeah.
that she uses.
yeah, she does.
So, well, yeah. You'd think if she thought that the dragon could be a woman, then she wouldn't have just brought a male angriel.
She would have had one of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which she might have just
Makes
kept
sense.
for herself. Thanks. I'll pocket this real quick. Yeah, so I guess we'll see, because we've seen there's a precedent that we're not going to get into, that these things can be destroyed too when you use them enough. So I don't know what the extent of Rand's channeling was at the end of this episode. Maybe it was so intense that he burned it out. Who knows?
Possible.
It's possible.
Mm.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, though,
Interesting.
he didn't look
Yeah.
like he broke too much of a sweat.
You're right.
I
All
did
that
like-
crap going through him.
At
all.
all. Yeah.
I did really
Good point.
like how when it started glowing, it was glowing green and it was made out of jade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
And that is
Yes.
a backup for the Fat Man theory because that's made of jade.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
That would make
sort of
sense because it's
countering
a,
myself now, but
if you're looking at what am I talking about here? Cultures, right? Little fat man would be made of jade, so it makes sense.
So, we lost James. Well, so you uploaded this photo here.
He needed a snack.
That's totally fine. What do we have circled here in this image? Tavern.
Rainbows, carnivals, and 3 beautiful women. And on her arm looks to be what
Oh my
might
gosh.
represent
Look at that.
It's a little
a
rainbow.
rainbow.
We got a little
oh,
rainbow.
we're on mid now.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
We're trying to get
nice little green fat man. I mean, this is a stretch. I just pointed it out because somebody pointed
like
it
it.
out, and I was like, it's interesting that she would have what appears to be a rainbow on her arm, and she mentioned rainbow in her viewing for Rand.
we got a
That's
little.
the only reson that's there.
That could be. She's got
Are
several.
you seeing things?
I'm not gonna debate it. That could be, you'd be right. I mean, it's
I think, without actually saying anything, we will see closer
Yeah.
detail of her arms later on in other types of scenes.
I'm sure we will.
we
I'm sorry.
might. We got a lot of debate in the chat about
Hopefully.
what this sangreal
Just-
was, whether it was a girl and boy sangreal or just for boys. I don't suppose they said it out loud, so that's gonna be a
Yeah.
watch and find out situation. I think. We didn't get much from Min this episode, aside from her bailing and her seeing what ended up happening to Nynaeve later. But I just want to
She looked
reiterate
phenomenal at leaving the city.
that she's great.
She looked so good.
We love
Yes.
her.
She looks like the smartest person.
Totally didn't blame her for leaving either.
No.
I mean, it made sense that she was heading out.
That's self-preservation right there. We also got
She yeeted like a pro.
I heard someone like a reactor say, when the seal leaves, you know that's your time to get the fuck out of there.
that's absolutely right.
It's time to go.
That's a signal.
So we've got Dark Friends and Faldara here, Lord Agomar.
Yeah.
We've got Uno, who literally I cannot get enough of. I feel like he looks so
He's
perfect.
amazing. He's amazing.
And then we find out that the Horn of Valere is in fact under the throne
Yeah.
in Faldara. How do we feel about that? That is different from the books, in some way that I'm not going to explain.
Yeah.
But I think this makes more sense than the book version, personally. I think, like, people have been looking for this thing for so long. And the fact that it's like, yeah, you know what? You know where they wouldn't have access to? Underneath a throne in, like, one of the most fortified cities in the world, right? Like, so, I don't know. I bought into this, especially because they're kind of like the first line of defense against the dark at the border of the Blight. So, like, I guess you could go one of two ways. First of all, it's next to the Blight, and so you wouldn't necessarily want it to be that close to the Blight. On the other hand, though, it is incredibly fortified. They're like an honor based society, like warrior society, and yeah, why wouldn't you want them protecting it? How did you guys feel about the Horn twist? The fact that the Horn was in Faldara?
You say it makes more sense. I say it makes an equal amount of nonsense.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So from a strategic point, it makes really good sense because, you know, even when they actually dig it up and Perrin's all like, let's use it, and Uno's like, calm your horses, right? And they basically say it's for the dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dragon, depending on who it is and where they're at, would have to come through Faldara to get to Tarwin's Gap to get to the Dark One. So therefore, the Horn would be ready for him when he got there.
That's a good point.
From a strategic standpoint, perfect place to have it.
That's
Or
a
maybe
good
they
point.
just
My 2
wanted
cents.
the prestige of the dragon coming through, so they'll like hoard it.
Give it to us.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think they're,
Gonna
I
come
don't
to
think they're big
our
on
ends.
prestige.
Come here.
Edelmar was not big on prestige, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Loyal's Library
I
says...
loved it. It made perfect sense.
Yeah, you agree? Do you think...
Fine with
I
it.
don't,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind it.
I wasn't expecting it, you know. So when they pulled the box out, I'm like, what?
There it is!
I like those moments. Yeah.
What's in the box?
Do you think there's any chance
What's
that
in
it was
the box?
originally in Malkir and then they moved it? Which is what Loyal's Library says.
I have a good question.
Why not?
And so the horn is in a chest, and can they open that chest? Is my question. I was trying to think of a way to phrase it without spoiling anything. Do we think Padden Fane is able to open that chest?
I think, given the box and what it looked like, that you may have to channel open that box.
Or do something specific?
Because the engravings.
Just because the way the box was built, it looked like something out of the Age of Legends. To be honest with you, it didn't look like something out of the time that they're in now. It looked a lot fancier, and it just looked like you might have to cast, almost like the Oath Rod. That same kind of feel to me. So it'd be interesting if someone had to channel to open that.
I don't know if you'd have to channel specifically, but I more meant it from like, does Padden Fane know how to open the box?
Or is he just going to
Not
carry the
Padden
box
Fane.
around until he can figure it out? Yeah, I mean, you would think
Well,
it'd be
well,
easier.
Probably.
That is a plot line where, you know, the horn's inside, but
I'm just gonna
Can't
say
get
that
it.
I get to it.
Padden Fane
yeah, I'm
tracked
sorry,
that.
I'm really trying not to spoil anything.
No, I think there's a
No.
good point. Like, he would have taken it out of the box because it would be easier to carry out of the box. If he could have,
Yeah.
I think he would have. I think that there's something to that theory.
That is true.
Like, nobody took the horn out of the box.
What I'm
so-
saying is,
Right.
Padden Fane followed them all the way to Tarvalon. He followed them through the ways. Somehow he got the dagger in between those 2 points from the White Tower. And he got the code words in Faldara to get them to open the damn door. Padden Fane is pretty resourceful. If there's a way
Yeah.
to open that box, I'm pretty sure he's either going to know or somebody's going to tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like the plot twist of maybe he doesn't know how to open it, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think that could be relevant, simply because we haven't seen it. And I don't know why we
Where's
wouldn't
Waldo?
have seen it, because I don't think a horn is that difficult to make.
I think you're right. And Fizzle King is
Where's
right.
Waldo
Padden
of
Fane.
what?
The Where's Waldo of WoT. I hope we keep
Oh,
getting
I-
to
I
look
love
for him.
I'm writing a song for Fane at the
Yes.
moment. That's my next video.
And one real quick about Padden Fane
Awesome.
in this episode. When Perrin got the googlies and he felt like somebody was watching and he looked, Padden Fane, if you watch closely, was literally leaning against the door jamb, watching them work until Perrin looked, and then he got up and walked away. So he was chilling there for a minute.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he just walked by. He was watching them for like a good amount of time.
Yeah. I like
He
this
was
point.
letting them do the hard work.
Yeah.
Which is
Like,
classic
just waiting
Fane.
until they were done. He didn't need to do that. Yeah.
He's
They
the
only have 2
boss.
mineral. They don't dirty their hands.
Cygnus Rising has a good point. What if the horn isn't even in the box?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Whoa. Whoa.
That'd be amazing.
It'd been one of those like treasure hunter situations where a long, long time ago someone took it out and replaced it with a fake, I don't know. Like, that could be something.
What,
Interesting.
the Trojan horn?
Oh no.
That's something. That is.
A bunch of little and the
It's funny.
companions, the 99 companions are little tiny people that jump out.
Wow. I think we have a bit
All of it.
devolved
Sure.
slightly.
All
All
right, moving
right.
on.
We made it into the eye of the world. And
I love this.
the imagery is cool. I'm a fan of it. I think it's neat.
It's cool. Yeah.
I
Symbolizes the balance of the world.
yeah, it really does.
It's-
Also, if you notice the stones around the eye look like the pattern of the graves after the battle. They buried everybody.
In a circle?
You-
What?
Okay,
It's a
see the
box.
stones around
Oh,
outside
the
of the circle?
stones outside of the circle. Okay, yeah, I totally see that now.
To me, it's less of a link between the stones and the graves, and a link between both of them and the imagery of a wheel.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
Wow.
a wheel, but
Yeah.
the imagery of the wheel is always present in almost everything they
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
And even the Murderall's mouth, when they open it up, looks like spokes with, like a wheel with spokes.
Imagine what their
crazy.
dental costs.
They don't have health insurance. I tried signing up.
Black Tower Podcast, do you recognize the floor from the 360 trailer? I got really confused by the 360 trailer, and so no.
It was definitely the floor from the 360 trailer.
I don't remember the 360 trailer. I think I blacked out while watching it. No, it was overwhelming.
I watched it in like 360 with a VR headset. My dad has an
Oh, that's awesome. That's the
I
way
never
to do it.
thought of that.
That's the
I
way
have
to
an
do it.
Oculus. I never thought of that. Damn it.
You never thought of using your VR headset to
No,
watch
because
the
I was-
360 experience?
Listen, it was a very trying time.
When we were starved for what content?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's actually interesting. So somebody's
This totally
asking.
has the feel of the Hall of the White Tower to me.
That is a
Yes.
good. Somebody
This
mentioned
whole
something like that in the
area.
chat. So do you think that's what this is? Like they said that this is where, right, Lews Therin trapped the Dark One. That's what they think it is. So do you think he did it just right in their version of the Hall of the Tower?
I mean, everything was
It would make
struck
sense.
by
Yeah.
dark friends from the histories, right, or from the library. They said, and that would be cool. It would be an open air amphitheater with both male and female gathering. That would be insane, but it'd be super cool if that's the case, because that would be it's
That
cool.
would be pretty.
I'm not
that
sure
night.
about this one because the conversation that they have in the beginning of the episode leads me to suggest that Lews Therin's planning to go somewhere to confront the Dark One, and if he was only like not going somewhere like round the corner to the White Tower, so to speak.
Well, we can make plans, but that doesn't mean they work.
I mean, do you
Yeah.
think he took a show wing somewhere?
Hybrid Havoc. I think this was an Age of Legends parking garage.
Parking garage. A lot of
I mean,
steps.
to me,
A
it
lot of
does
steps.
look like an inverted version of the tower.
It does.
Yeah,
It's
like
super
down
There's,
to the
neat.
there's a
ground.
lot of steps and a lot of rings leading down into it, which is really neat. Yeah.
I for
Okay.
one,
I love this
audio
pattern.
work, maybe.
I for one am incredibly interested going forward to find out what this really is. And Moiraine said
Right?
he
Oh my
asked
gosh.
what it was, and she's like, we lost all memory of it or whatever at the tower. It got purged, and so I'm over here wondering, like, how do you know this is where Lews trapped the Dark One in the first place? Like, where are you getting all this information that you think that you have?
And it goes back.
And is it
sorry.
wrong? No, it's fine. I want more,
I agree
basically.
because it goes back to the conversation that Moiraine had with Swan when we were like, those things are 3,000 years old. We don't know. We're not really sure how accurate they are. If it's a man or a woman, and there's this whole doubt around the prophecies. Moiraine, they have certain assumptions. She thought it was Egwene. Even Rand said you thought it was going to be Egwene. Taught her to channel. You were going to make her you introduced her to the Amulet Seat.
Yeah.
Again, they think, and this brings me to something I was going to bring up earlier. They think that this is where the Dark One is imprisoned, right? But
Yeah.
even Moiraine said, when he asked what the Blight was, and she said, it's a filth, it's a thing that comes, that stretches out from the Dark One's prison. If this was the Dark One's prison, Blight would be equally in every direction, but this just got covered up
Yeah.
not too long ago, which means that the Dark One's prison has to be somewhere else.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Not to mention, like,
good theory.
somebody in the chat, I've highlighted this briefly. Cygnus Rising mentioned, Rand says that this is somewhere that he remembered. But honestly, like, as Lews Therin, presumably, but it could literally just be the Hall of the Tower. It could be the Aes Sedai headquarters. It could be his house. Obviously, it's pretty nice. It's
Well,
probably not his
yeah.
house, but it
Yeah.
could be
I mean,
anything.
Could be.
He did actually
Yeah.
see Lews Therin there.
Yeah.
Well, he also saw the Dark One.
and
as
the
well.
Dark One, yeah.
Right. There's so much
so-
misinformation in the eye of in this episode and generally in like the eye of the world without getting into spoilers that it's like what the hell are we actually experiencing? And that transitions
What just
perfectly into this. We've got a little bit of a dream shard like fantasy land situation with Rand and Joya and Egwene, which was really
Such a cute baby.
such
Such
a
a
cute
baby.
little baby. Oh, did you see the picture on Instagram? That was like the doll. It was
Yes.
kind of horrifying. Yeah.
Oh, we're fine.
And just so that we're clear, this was a completely different child from what Min saw.
It does look like a different baby than what.
No, it is. I look. It's a
Is
totally
it, or
different
is it
baby.
just older?
It is.
It is
Okay.
older.
Totally
That's
different
okay.
baby. Yeah, but
It's
I'm
older
telling
though,
you,
right? So it could be the same baby.
I don't
Oh,
know.
but
babies
yeah,
look- the babies look different.
Still
That's all I'm
haven't
gonna
seen
say.
him holding the younger
Could
baby,
possibly
yeah.
be it, but it looks like
I
a
think
totally
it's
different
not.
baby.
In counterpoint to that, just because Min sees something a certain way doesn't mean that's exactly how it happens. Because the way that she saw Nynaeve burning up was not the way that Nynaeve burned up. And that either fills
is
me with
true.
like confidence or existential dread.
Is it gonna
true.
happen again?
Is she gonna drop to her knees and burn up in like?
I'll give you that. What I'm saying is two different
So-
babies.
so
just
this-
No,
like
yeah,
physical,
good
physical
spot, good
babies.
spot.
So this is bringing us back to the question we had in our last stream, which is Min's viewings, metaphorical or literal? and I guess we'll going forward continue to, Hybrid Havoc. Min's visions are not always 1-to-1. That's kind of it. It's like Rand.
Yeah,
with,
I think it's a case by case basis as
Yeah.
well. I don't think that there's a hard and fast rule that applies to any of, other than that they all come true.
right.
Well, I
think
mean,
there's a hard and
aside
fast rule.
from the fact that she wouldn't answer Moiraine as to whose baby it was, clearly she knew and she looked away and literally would not look at Moiraine when she said, "Oh no, it's just a baby." And then she finally looked up. She refused to look at her, but she was hiding something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a spoiler though.
This is
Spoiler alert!
this
Trying to
is-
say what was happening.
If we said what that was, it would be a
Yes,
spoiler.
yeah.
I think.
going back and forth between this dream world and the real world, with Moiraine facing the Dark One and Rand also facing reality and this temptation that the Dark One is giving him. I thought it was a really cool way to present this setup. Winespring, what did you like? Could you just describe your experience watching this, like this Rand's plot in this final episode?
This one was super interesting for me because I totally got like the religious vibe going here, like the temptation of,
Yeah.
Jesus. I'll just say it with
Okay, yeah.
the devil. Like, hey, you can have all this. You just need to want it. That kind of thing.
Sure.
And I also super noticed, you have to let me know in the chat if y'all agreed, when we switched to this moment at like the farm, and it's so peaceful. It was like really stark, right? Like it kind of like almost like they really made that hit. Like this is where you want to be. Like as soon as that scene started. And I noticed too, I think it was in an image earlier, not this one that's up right now. But when Egwene is sitting on the blanket, she has a huge bag or basket of apples out, which is also like, a callback to like Old Testament apples and temptation, Egwene, like Rand. I really
noticed the
enjoy
apples.
that
It's awesome.
imagery there. Also, her necklace that she usually wears, Egwene, is the infinity symbol. You'll kind of notice it.
Yeah.
It's separated, but it's the infinity symbol. And in this scene, her earrings are actually a snake, which is also directly a callback to that
And there's
temptation that's
I
happening
didn't
there.
think they were a snake. So
Wait a minute.
I didn't check if these were her normal earrings or not, but I noticed that
No.
her earrings.
They
I
are
thought they
not.
looked
They're
like
different.
a
Her
flame.
normal are wheel.
Yeah.
I think they
I-
look like the flame of Tavern.
Let's do
Isn't there like a
this.
little red stone
I
above,
totally
the,
see a
above the
snake.
snake head?
There's my Zoom
Yeah,
job
that's
is
like-
expert level.
It's
You're right.
happening slowly
Right,
over there.
It looks like a snake head with the tail curling behind it. It looks
But
like
you
what
can
an
see
apple
the
in front
flame
of
as
it.
well, right?
I
Like
yeah
the
no
Or
I,
an
I
apple
definitely I
for
definitely see
temptation.
I see the flame. I see the apple. I see a wheel. I
The-
see a music note, guys. There's so many things that I can see.
The
It's a
music
quarter note.
note
It's a quarter
matters.
note.
All of it.
It's a record player.
All of
It's
it
a record-
matters.
The symbolism. I really need to
do
zoom
see it.
out. This is overwhelming.
I do see it.
Yeah.
Very, very good eye.
I think
Very good eye.
I think the choices they made, like dress and clothing and everything, they were for a reason. Like,
Like a pin.
this looks like a pen. Oh wow. Okay, I see what you're doing.
I see where he was going.
Yeah,
Where they were going with that.
I'm trying to like. Sorry, you guys
Understand.
are watching me adjust this thing on the
Winespring,
screen.
Winespring, I 100% agree with you on all of that. I did not catch that. Good eye. I do.
Hey,
I,
thanks.
I do see it.
Really good eye. I
That's
love
I
that.
think there's some foreshadowing too that for the later scenes with Egwene and Nynaeve, when Egwene like restores Nynaeve back to life. So the dark one here with Rand is telling him to, you know, like empty yourself of anger and sadness, turn it all into want, and, you know, start pulling it in, which is basically like a manifestation, like want it so bad that it becomes. And that is exactly what we see happen with Egwene and Nynaeve. Like, she's just like, I do not want this. Like, this is not happening. We're changing this. And she just manifests it the same way the Dark One's trying to get Rand to do it.
Yeah.
That's
That's what it looked like to me anyway.
Oh, that's
It's
really
really-
great.
yeah.
That's actually a
So-
good call out.
The mirroring that I talked about earlier when we were looking at the cold open, and Luce Theron says, you know, to think fate of the world is being decided in a nursery. Right?
Yeah.
Where are they right now? He's literally standing next to a bassinet
Yeah.
where there's a baby.
And the fate of the world is
fate of the
being
world
decided.
is being decided.
Yeah.
I'm
So
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same crib?
no.
Is
no,
it?
No, this is just
Oh.
a wooden. I mean, it might look the same. I don't know if it might be.
Yeah, so
That'd be
this
cool.
one is
we have a-
wooden.
do we
Let
have
me
an
go look.
elevation?
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
go look.
No, no,
Let me
yeah.
look. Let me look.
On that note, we also had, like Winespring said, there was this serenity about the location where he's trying to convince
gosh.
Rand to come to the dark side and all this stuff. But at the same time, they're cutting back to scenes of chaos and battle and all of this stuff. So you had this fight happening in Torwin's Gap, and then this conversation, just a conversation happening over here in this tranquil little cottage, and it was just amazing to me that the real battle was just a conversation.
It's a
I have to
different
give it
crib.
up as well to the Dark
That's
One.
so
being able to
good,
have
Tavern.
two conversations at once, because I struggle to have a conversation with one person.
Oh no,
in
yeah, the dark
room.
one, yeah.
And like
Yeah.
he was handling both at the same time. No like flickers of like, oh, it's gutters. Sorry, I'm speaking to the wrong person. We get to the other line.
It wasn't like
You know,
Doctor Who, right? Recently. If anybody watched that episode.
I have a question though for you guys
Sure.
about the situation with the Dark One and Moiraine. Okay, and we
Yeah.
haven't gotten to it yet when he does his little finger and shield slash stills her. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But she whips out the knife.
I
right?
love that.
Whips it out the Rand's throat.
Yes, power move. Go, girl. Okay.
Is
the
it
knife that
because
we
he-
also saw in episode 1 in the same
Yes.
scene as the Angreal.
But is it just that he can't physically touch her? Because he's not real. He hasn't manifested completely. Because he channels, he stops her channeling, and does his thing to her. But which he could literally do again. Just hold her knife in place, but he doesn't do it, and he doesn't physically try to touch her in any way. So I think
can answer,
he
but
can't.
it's for the
I
spoiler
don't think
section.
he can. Is it a spoiler? Is it for book
Oh,
one, or
okay.
is it for later?
It's a spoiler for later.
Okay, we'll talk about it then.
Yeah, wait.
I mean,
Save it. I would totally want to hear.
I have an
Yeah.
explanation.
I'm confused
I'm gonna write it
about
down so
why-
I don't forget.
It was a nice knife, Kev. I think Moiraine busting out that knife was awesome. The fact that she's literally like we get Moiraine being an absolute stud, willing to do literally anything to further the Light's cause against the Dark One so many times. And this is just another example where she's literally like, I'll make the choice for him, okay? You know what I mean? Like, I want to do it. And then obviously that happened right before the meme reborn, the Wheel and Chill is show chill. Thank you very much. That happened right before this happened, which I think we can just jump into because it was crazy. So, multiple images. First image, this one here.
Yeah.
This one is the shielding. This is what happened with Logain. We all saw it happen. It closed in, whatever. Like that's, oh, sorry. I'm not showing you. Ha! Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So Moiraine gets shielded, and that seems obvious. And then he does this little, and then, okay, something goes into her chest, which is more like the situation where Logain got gentled. like stuff went into his chest and then it exploded out of his chest. That was what happened when he got gentled. We didn't get anything exploding out of Moiraine's chest that I recall. So that's like leans in favor of like just a really, really solid shield. But the fact that it did go in there in the first place makes me wonder. And then we get this little like bizarre snippety snap move. I don't know how to describe it, where he just kind of like zips it closed.
It was a knot. He knotted it.
So yeah, it's either a super
Ziploc.
intense tied off shield or she's stilled. And that was one of the what the hell moments from this
I
episode.
think the subtlety of this shot was in just how quick it was.
Yeah, just
Because
Yes.
especially
Oh my gosh.
on the first watch, you're so caught up in the fact of, oh my god, how quick did
Yeah, it
this
just
guy
happened.
so powerful? What? That you don't even like pay close attention to exactly what he's doing to her. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it paid off in that sense because it allows them to play up this mystery of what exactly it is that happened to her. I will say, I think she knows exactly what happened to her. I think there's evidence later of, in her acting, you can see the constriction of the three oaths applying. And I think in that moment she figures out that it's probably a shield tied off, not being
she's-
stilled.
Well, he even tells her, how bad is it where you can see it but you can't touch it? It's
But
not
I don't
being
think she
stilled,
realized.
that's-
I think she thought she was stilled until
That shield
she
was
talking to
super
Lan at the
intense.
end.
The
Yeah.
shield was
And
super
then-
intense. As Kritter said, it went deep, and maybe he shielded her and shoved it so far deep inside of her and then knotted it that it's going to be hard for anyone to figure it out. I think because Logain, they just kind of put a shield on him. He, like, zapped her. Not to mention, stopped her weaves. Which has me confused. The blades were coming at her, and he stopped them before they got to him, before he even shielded her. How did he do that?
I mean, he could have created a wall of air that was like stronger than the
Yeah,
weave.
yeah.
It's
Like,
possible.
You know,
it's
like
possible.
That's just classic, Wheel of Time magic battling. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of an
I
expert
would
at
think
it.
they would have.
Um,
I would have think they would have shown that though. I mean,
Yeah.
we're showing
Uh,
his casting and her casting.
I
I
feel
would
like
think they would have shown that.
that's a character moment.
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's a power play on his behalf. He's not even cutting her weaves. He's showing his lack of concern. He's leaving them right there, poking up to his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and the cool thing is, they deliberately showed when he appeared. They deliberately showed Moiraine going through all her motions to cast these things,
Yes.
and it looked like slow mo, and he was just like,
He just
And
looked
done.
at her.
it was like, which leads us to the sling ring. Going with a Marvel reference. I'm calling it a sling ring until we find the goddamn name for it. I told you guys in the pre-show that I think it's a focus. What do you guys think it is?
His little ring.
Yep, there's a little ring. Because Luz had it too, and so did Latra.
So some sort of angriel.
Yeah.
Some sort of angriel.
Like I said, I think it's a
Alter
focus
Angriel.
because if you notice, all of his channeling comes from that spot, that hand, and it's tiny. It's really powerful, but it's tiny. Whereas in this present time, all of the channeling we've seen has been huge and kind of out of control looking.
Like big
very
body
wild.
movements. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
and with him, it just pulls it into one spot and whoop.
Dirty Guns, welcome.
I'm totally guessing.
Yeah.
It's an AOL iWatch.
Yeah, so I think James had a really good point that I think now I agree with, in that Moiraine couldn't say certain things. She didn't say I was stilled. She said I can't touch the source. She didn't say Rand is dead, which is what Rand wanted her to say. She said Rand is gone. And so
Yeah.
there's all these things that make me think
Which is the truth.
the oaths are still binding her, which makes me think, without knowing for sure, that she wasn't. I would think that if she was stilled, the oaths would be removed. That's just me guessing.
It's not just that as well. She's about to say something, cuts off, stops, and then says, "I can't touch the source."
Yeah.
And it feels to me like she was about to say, "I've been stilled," then literally
couldn't.
couldn't,
Right.
felt it, and was like, oh,
Technically,
I
though,
guess I
right?
haven't, because I can't say that.
If
That's
she
a good catch. That's a really good catch.
if she believed it,
Yeah.
though, isn't that the workaround? Like, if you believe something, can't you say it?
Thought they.
But if there's
with that in the
uncertainty
books.
around it, then
I thought they dealt with that in the
Maybe.
books. Didn't they later on in the books when they were testing people?
You might be right. Sorry, we can move on. Okay. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But like in the same way that you can be sarcastic, essentially, there are workarounds where you can say things that aren't true because you're not saying them for the truth of the matter asserted, to use legal language. Sorry. It's
Well done.
Sorry. Sometimes that's the best way to describe it, and that for me is how I'm going to describe it. But I guess we'll find out some other time later. I'm not sure. Oh wait, here we go. We did have a picture of Moiraine's sick knife. So before we move on, I just want to everyone's got lots of love for this knife. I have,
It's amazing. Look how beautiful that is.
Gorgeous knife. This is something I
what's
would
the
buy.
engraving on that? Can we zoom in on the engraving?
Yeah, let me do my
Can we?
stream
You got
magic.
this.
You guys are gonna watch this as is happening
Wait,
in
here we
real
go.
time.
Here we go.
Oh
He is a
wow, I
pro,
moved our
ladies and gentlemen.
entire background. I moved the whole
He
background.
only did this so we got to watch
She,
Kritter.
she's in a Photoshop. That's
What
moving
is
back.
that? Like it's what? A crest? Maybe.
I'm wondering if
Might
it's
be.
something to do with her background.
Carrying?
Like it might be a
Yeah,
crest,
yeah.
like a house
Like
sigil or something. Yeah, I
yeah,
think
like Damodred.
that is the
I
shape
don't know what that.
that I would expect out
I
of a
think,
sigil.
let me Google
Yeah.
House Damodred.
Do it.
Oh, it's a good
Do
idea.
Everyone's enhance.
Is it me or
What's happening?
does the blade look like it's shifted on its axis from the handle?
It is. It's kind of wonky in that way.
So
Is it?
apparently the sigil of House Damodred
The middle finger?
is a tree and a crown.
Okay.
It's meant to be a homage to the Kingdom of Gondor.
I love that. Isn't that the bridge for sigil? You know what, Nimhathriel? I think you're right. I think we're in the Cosmere.
For
Little did we
sure.
know that Wheel of Time's in the Cosmere. I think it makes sense because Brando Sando.
Oh
wrote
no,
part of
I
it.
actually I think it's
100%.
that thing, that symbol that they have on the Squid Game cards to give out.
You know, that's a good call, Meme Reborn. The knife is kind of reminiscent of the Oath Rod, the handle at least.
It is.
The like carved
is.
ivory look.
I wonder if it's power rot.
Ooh.
It's not quite as dildo shaped.
Not quite as dildo-ish. I mean, we can't
Nice.
all have
Be
too
sharp.
many dildos in this. All right, so I guess we've sort of just kind of been talking about Rand's plot this whole time. So let's finish off Rand and then we'll go to Nynaeve and Egwene, shall we?
Let's finish off Rand.
Let's finish off Rand.
Only
Yeah.
three women
just
to
take his
do
ass
that.
out.
We're done with him.
Beautiful women.
Get rid of him.
So Rand, we go back and forth between these like very harsh lighting, like daytime, idyllic, beautiful, whatever. You can remake the world in his image. He's getting tempted. I think that he was tricking the Dark
Yes.
One to teach him how to
Oh, yeah,
channel.
totally.
Do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Moiraine already said she wouldn't, and he asked her to. So
Okay.
we know
Well,
he wanted
yeah.
to know how.
and it's funny how Dark One is teaching him. He's like, take your anger, take this and ball it. It's basically like the flame in the void.
Flame in the void, yeah.
But there's a huge difference because if I'm not mistaken, in the books and in Flame of the Void, Tam also told him put your wants and everything into the flame and let it burn up. And in this, Dark One's saying you need to want it. It's the one thing he doesn't tell him to put into it. He goes manifest your want. So it's almost like the opposite of the Flame in the Void, right? Which I thought was really cool. That he was kind of, and there were some odd things like he said, "Don't fight
Maybe
and
it's
surrender."
The
Which
flame
threw me.
in the void.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, the part when he said, "Don't fight it, surrender to it," it was like, That's not right.
That felt very side R.
Fight side in.
Yeah, that's not side in at all. You're fighting side in all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just thought it was odd, but yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. I liked it.
But we have
Rand.
already established as well that Rand doesn't believe anything he says. So Rand was probably doing the exact opposite of everything that he was being told in that moment.
That's a good point.
How we managed to channel.
Likely. And did anybody else catch that this whole scene was basically, I mean, it'll have to be in the spoiler section. God damn it.
Okay, that's fine.
Save it.
I really liked this image. We're
That's
still
so
talking
good.
about Rand. Like the cool camera work where they're like circling around Rand while he's in the meadow or whatever. If we're using like Twilight references, versus when he's in the chamber, the eye or whatever. The lighting differences were so stark every time they like switched it. I don't know. I thought it was really neat. I liked the cinematography of this episode personally.
Oh yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, the directors, both this and episode 7, I thought he did a great job on them.
Right.
Yep.
And then we thought Rand was tricking the Dark One, but do we also think the Dark One was tricking poor Rand?
It's a trap.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, there's the shot that I wanted to talk to you
For
about.
sure.
But yes,
It's a
yeah,
trap.
totally tricking. Do you see the dark weaves coming into his feet
Yeah.
on the
yeah.
bottom?
Like under the Dark One.
Yeah,
his
I need
feet?
to get
Under the dark
closer
one.
in.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna change it. I'm just
go.
gonna zoom in. There we go. Okay. We're all covered up here, but yes, these little tendrils coming from the Dark One's feet.
Yep.
It's a weird little
Sure,
image.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice it in the episode until I actually rewatched it and I was taking these screenshots, and I was like, wow, that's like some serious attention to detail. Which was amazing.
Yeah.
It's all. Do you know what that actually looks like to me?
What's that?
What's that?
Like chains.
What?
Like it looks like
Chains.
chains. Yeah, like
Chains? Well, I mean, if we
like
can talk about
chains
that.
look like shackling
Yeah.
him down.
Interesting. Oh, that's a good
Possible. I
point.
mean,
Yeah, like as if they
do
were
have a tether.
And
if they were
and
in
when
the
his
ground.
face gets blown off, do they disappear?
Yeah, they're gone when the whole light thing happens. Yeah.
That's something.
So that's why I was like, I didn't
pretty
catch it
cool.
at first until I saw this. So that's pretty.
That's
neat.
just confirmed a lot of my beliefs. So thanks for that,
Mhm.
Tavern.
Welcome.
More like roots.
I love seeing
I don't
how
know what
many
the fuck I
like
did, but you're
weaves are
welcome.
coming in too.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Those are definitely shackles. That's
Yeah, they
exactly
do
what
really
I
look
see
like
them.
that. He doesn't
That's pretty
move
cool.
from there whenever he appears. Yeah, that's really actually kind of a cool call out that I.
Well, no,
didn't-
not true, because he does walk around behind Moiraine, while Rand is in the other.
But do we see his
walks around
feet
her.
in those shots?
Don't know if we see
Like
his feet, but we
roots,
see
I
him
like
walking
that.
around.
Yeah.
Around
Yeah,
her.
like roots. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the poor seals breaking. Aww, or whatever
Like-
this is.
like a
the
tether,
floor. We get the
almost.
poor floor cracking.
Floor broke.
To the seal.
Hmm.
It's the seal.
I
I'm just gonna say it. It's the seal.
mean, it's Quendiar, right? Which is Moiraine says that out loud, and it's not a common substance in this universe, so very, very sus. Not a good sign, in my opinion. That's something that's supposed to be unbreakable broke. And it feels like the Dark One.
It's a bad omen.
It is a bad omen. I think that's
is.
about right.
Bad omen.
I love how all of
Yeah.
these, like this stream more than any other stream for us, we're like, I can't say anything, so I think we're gonna have to go like spoilers sooner rather than later. But
Reminds me of the penguins in Madagascar.
Smile and wave.
um,
Smile and wave.
once again, I thought this was cool. I thought the
yeah.
CGI was neat in this
Brilliant.
episode. I thought it was really cool. And I don't know if I said this out loud, but in the chat somebody said that him telling Rand to surrender was almost like him trying to get Rand to burn out or something, like him trying to lose control. You know what I mean?
It's a possibility because I
possible.
thought it was
Yeah.
odd. I thought that was an odd command.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It worked. I liked the end. And we'll get more into that in our spoilers section. Until then, though, I saw a lot of complaints. I guess we can really, really quickly address Perrin, because he didn't do anything, more or less. He ran around, he was upset, he was confused. I saw a lot of people mad that Perrin didn't do anything where everybody else got to do something.
I will say Perrin did one good thing in this episode.
Which was?
He got that one-liner out of Loyal.
I'm standing.
And what was that?
Which I think we have a shot of it, right?
The one line. Oh,
We do.
yeah,
we
we do.
do.
Hold on, let me get it. Let me get it.
Can't
Loyal.
just sit here.
Here we go. And to that, Loyal says, "I'm standing." or I guess as Michael Kramer would say, like, "I'm standing." Sorry, I suck. I can't do that.
So good.
I'm standing.
It was so good. Oh my god.
Perrin was a
So
lost
yeah,
dog.
Perrin did that. Perrin did that.
That's
Perrin
true.
Was, I mean,
He also
Here-
saw Bart. That was fun.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. though.
Did fuck all.
Particular scene, plus the scene from episode 7 where he was talking to Rand about the Way of the Leaf, confirms my shit from freaking previous episodes when I said that Isla was recruiting him, and it freaking worked because he was talking to Rand about it, and in this episode he's like, "Way of the Leaf, this is bullshit." He was trying to live the Lay of the Week or the Way of the Leaf.
Yeah.
That
They
might be
pulled
true.
him in hook, line, and sinker. He
Random
got suckered in.
But
Random
it's not
Noman
going to work.
says Perrin had to be rewritten to cover Matt's scenes. I think that's true. Like, Perrin, like,
Possible, yeah.
first of all, like,
But I
Perrin
wanna know
doesn't
what he would
do.
have been doing.
That's what I'm saying. What the hell was he gonna do? He's a kid, more or less. He's 20-year-old. He's hardly any training. And those people, the book purists, were like, well, he would have training if it was like the books. He wouldn't have that much training. Not enough to fight a
Actually,
10,000.
And he wouldn't. Not very much.
Not very much at all. Right. And so, what is he gonna do? Loyal's Library
Most of
Super
the
Chat,
training
$4.99.
with
Thank you so
Lan.
much. So
Most of the training with Lan actually comes in book 2, and it's been really annoying me that people have been saying that about there's been no training in this season, because
Yeah.
it starts
Right.
in book 2.
It happens after they are of the world.
well, literally, like, doesn't Lan just say, like, this is an axe? This is a sword. Like, there's one
like,
scene.
that's the-
There's one scene in the books where he like explains to
Extended
them
it.
their weapons, and that's it.
But we want it.
We do want it.
We want it. We want it.
Episode
it.
2 or season 2. Let's get it in season 2. That'll be fine. And then our boy Loyal dies, but doesn't actually die. Right?
He was still moving.
For sure
at the
not.
end.
He was still moving.
at the end.
We've got
Yeah, he's
channelers.
I want to know. Do you have the shot of that I have circled for, or I have the title on for?
For Uno.
I have a theory on Loyal going forward.
Yeah, go for it.
And I can say it in a non-spoilery way. I think that, especially given what I said earlier about them picking Matt up from his book 3 plot, I think that they'll be shifting a lot of the plot that Matt had in book 2, because it is important to Loyal's character now that he was stabbed in this scene.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
I think that makes sense as
Say
the
that again?
reason. So essentially, in book 2, there's a plot where they're chasing to try and get to the dagger because it's the way to heal
Yeah.
someone, right?
Yeah.
Who's been tainted by it, and I think that could be the case with Loyal going into this season. I don't think that would have been done if it wasn't for the departure of Barney, but I think
I get
that's
what
the
you're saying,
end
yeah.
result is it
Interesting.
got shifted to Loyal instead. Gives him a bit more to do. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure how that would affect his character in the long term, so...
I like it.
That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting turn.
Yeah.
So Tavern, this picture, you highlighted Uno. Why did
Yeah,
you do that?
because okay, so when the murder all attack the throne room and Perrin's gone, he comes running back screaming for Loyal. It's almost like Rocky with Adrian. That's the vibe I got from that.
Same.
Yes,
Um,
for sure.
we don't see Uno. We see the other guy, the other guy with the beard that used to be Ingtar but is no longer Ingtar.
Right.
he gets smoked, and then you see this older guy here that's on the ground in the forefront get smoked. We don't see Uno. Then I was looking through the scene, and I realized, okay, that's Uno in the background because he's got the burnt skin on his arm, which Uno is severely scarred on his arm and the back of his head and stuff. So I'm like, don't show him dying. They're really good about showing people die in shows. If they don't show them dying,
he's definitely in season 2. He's been announced.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't see him dying on screen, there's a chance that he's still. But I'm just wondering if he just got knocked out or if he just got hurt.
Also,
so that's
apparently
why
Agelmar's alive because he had a
What?
the actor Thomas Channing and Guy Roberts, the actor who plays Uno. Guy Roberts posted a photo of them having dinner together in Czech like yesterday.
How is that? How though? Like how?
Exactly.
Maybe,
That's what I was
flashback.
saying. And someone started arguing with me on Twitter, like, "Oh, so you thought that Agelmar was dead? Ha, you're dumb." And I'm like, "What? He took a spear through the chest and got impaled on a wall. How did you think he was not dead?" Yeah, we got a shot of it there. Yeah. How is he not dead?
Yeah, that I don't understand that. Not to mention that they made Agelmar, one, they made him look like an asshole when they first got there, which was
They
odd.
did him dirty.
They did.
Yeah, and then two,
Yeah.
one of the great commanders goes charging off to die at Tarwin's Gap. Right?
I did think they
why?
redeemed his character in the scene that he had putting on the armor. With
Speaking of the
Annalisa.
armor, okay, so speaking of that armor, do you think the old armor that she wanted him to wear was power rot in some way? Do you think that's what she was wearing when she had her armor on? It looked like
Definitely
the same armor.
what she was wearing.
Definitely.
Yes, for sure.
You know, it said that it protected her, their father and their grandfather for hundreds of battles. So,
I wasn't thinking power rot. I was thinking
wouldn't either.
Terangriel or Angriel.
Yeah, something.
But
Well,
power rot would make sense as well.
yeah. So that and they defend the Blight. So I was just curious as to what the validity of that would be, because he's like, no, I need to wear my armor. But your armor's got a hole in it now, buddy. Just gonna put that out there.
If he's alive, I mean,
Recognition.
I guess in this sense, it's like at some point, maybe not because this has the one power in it, and people can channel people back from almost death. Like, so maybe we need to get used to seeing people on the verge of death coming back. But I feel like they need
use that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need it to be used in a delicate way, because it's not that like it upsets me to see people on the verge of death. It's just it feels like I need it to be really earned, And if somebody's almost gonna die and I'm feeling it, just at some time, like, let them die. Like, let Lord Agelmar die, because we saw him have a spear in his heart.
I figured it out.
Oh,
It's like that Rick and Morty episode where he has the shark like for his chest. They do like fancy dress and
Sure.
it's like that.
It's perfect.
The armor's like that.
Okay, so actually,
But I do agree, Kritter. We don't want to be like desensitized from people
thank
dying.
you. Like, let
Right?
some
That's
die.
kind of what you were saying.
Let
We've had
some
Nynaeve
die.
Like, let
We've
them
had-
be dead.
Yeah.
We've had Nynaeve die twice and come back. Well, the first one she didn't die. They
Yeah.
thought she was dead.
Right.
But now she apparently died and came back.
Can we
had-
all agree?
Yeah, we have
Annalisa got
Moiraine.
smoked, and
Yeah,
that's
Annalisa's
not up
toast.
for debate.
Yeah, no, Annalisa's gone.
We had Moiraine die.
Yeah, she's gone.
The
Yeah.
dream,
Yeah.
right?
The dream,
know,
that's right.
She died in the dream. Then so they keep doing this.
Well, Lan and
and
Moiraine are like
they need to
bleeding out of
slow
the
down.
aorta. Like, yeah. I want to point out, Shelly Sedai in the chat, thank you for the $5 super chat. One of the reactors thought that Agelmar had a viewing from Min about wearing his armor, so he insisted on wearing it. That is interesting, although Annalisa said that Agelmar was kind of against using the seer, so I'm not sure if he would have. Maybe he would have because of the threat that was
But
about
he
to
had
come.
just been reminded about her.
Yeah, he
because
might have like changed his
somebody
stance.
just asked, right?
Or he stopped seeing her because because she saw this view. And then again, this is theory. He, like Shelly said, maybe she
Didn't
told him,
like
"Hey,
what she
you
had
need
to
to wear
say.
your armor. There's a battle coming. You need to wear your armor." And he was like, "No, I've always worn my parents, my father's armor."
Yeah.
And then shit actually came to pass, and he dismissed her because he didn't believe her. And then shit came to pass, and he wore his own armor. That's a possibility too.
Yeah. So, the meme reborn. Let them be dead. A quote from Winespring Cafe 2021.
Yeah, but
Completely
do you
agreed.
think there'll be a
Get your
boy
t-shirt.
pride
You're gonna
wolf
get a t-shirt.
situation where like we
What?
see enough people, we see enough fake outs happen that we become so desensitized to
Yeah.
it, and then just like in the middle of that, they just hit us with one, and we're like, okay, so it's another fake out.
It's like the boy who cried
Right.
wolf.
Yeah.
Well, Rafe
Right?
in
What?
an interview,
No, what?
Rafe in an interview said that he wanted to almost kill Loyal to show us all that he can kill characters. And I'm like, I get it, but just kill a character. Like, if you want to show us,
Not that one.
not that one. Not that
That's,
one.
that's the wrong
That
one.
one.
But like,
Want to kill people?
I mean, you're
You
killing
can take
Amelisa.
Agomar.
Like,
Take
kill
Agomar,
some
whatever.
people. Like,
Guy
whatever, take
Agomar.
Agomar. Literally, whatever. Like, I don't,
Basil Gill. I don't.
because that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna
You
be a,
cannot take Basil Gill.
it's gonna be a cried wolf
I
situation
refute that.
where I refuse to acknowledge somebody's death, and then it's gonna get annoying because I'm like, oh,
Absolutely.
so Nynaeve can come back, but this person can't. You know, at that point, I'm gonna get like, so that's all I'm saying. So we have these ladies. They're all getting burnt out one by one, which is different.
All the single ladies.
In a way. It's not something that I'm expect. Rafe needs to wheel and chill.
That is true.
I do appreciate what Rafe's doing. I love.
Wait, he's not watching right now?
I'm sure he
Really
is.
and
I'm
truly?
sure
I
he-
thought he was in here as Jay Frudkins.
Of course he is.
Rafe, feel free to respond in the chat to what we're saying. But okay, so Nynaeve looks like she's in a really frickin' rough spot. Like, granted, her eyes aren't burnt out, so I guess that's the difference, right? Nynaeve, I think I saw in the background info or whatever that she was at
Yeah,
like a
she's
level
survived.
4 burnout, whereas
Level
Amelisa
4.
was
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
level 10.
They've
Like
got
a 20.
ripped
She was a
Oh my
20.
gosh.
She was a 20 burnout. Emelisa almost imploded.
She's
Nynaeve,
perma-fried.
Nynaeve looks
She
crispy.
has what we call the Dark One's eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess she wasn't full dead. I guess let's put it that way. Nynaeve wasn't full dead.
She was partly dead.
She was partly-
probably playing cards and she
Not
bluffed
completely.
to Blathe.
She was just crispy.
She was just a little crispy. Yeah, I mean, we can always... Loyal's Library. Hey, guys, it's me, Rafe, AMA. Rafe, thank you so much for joining. Can I just say that I loved this season. Can't wait to see
Can
what
I
you
just
do in
ask?
season 2. And also, never kill Loyal.
And can I just ask Rafe?
Can we talk about bread
what is the
Wait,
tell?
with
What's
Rafe?
the tell,
Oh, bread, yes.
Rafe?
Yeah, it's honey cakes. It's fucking honey cakes, Rafe, you
Whoa,
bastard.
whoa, whoa,
Say.
whoa.
He's here. Whoa.
I'm there for you. I'm
Whoa.
there for you. Winespring,
I
I'm there
am
for you.
Rafe sworn, so let's not go too
Yeah,
far
we
there.
gotta roll it back a little bit.
I mean,
The right amount of crispy, like a perfect...
politely everything.
Jesus. Guys, I don't like seeing Nynaeve crispy, okay? But she did come back, which was great. Thankfully, Egwene proved herself to be strong enough to not leave a scar, because that looks like it could have left some major scars, I
It's
think.
a reverse Horcrux.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. And
I was like
Reverse
screaming
Horcrux.
at the TV during this part. Like,
Literally.
oh my god, stop. What is happening? This is the worst thing ever.
There are marks in her pockets.
yeah, it was. Yeah, Alan Bird. I did see that I didn't see it, but I've heard people online saying that there's different levels of burnout, and that Nynaeve wasn't as burnt out. I understand that she just wasn't moving,
Interesting.
and so she looked very dead to me, which is my mistake, I guess. I should have known that, of course,
How
Nynaeve
dare you?
wasn't dead,
Listen,
but
we knew she wasn't going to be dead, but they made it look like she died, so that's on them, really. I just think it was executed poorly. It's one of the only things in this episode that I didn't think was presented correctly.
yeah, I just
Because everybody I've talked to thought she was dead and was resurrected.
think, yeah. And that's like,
Yeah.
it's a thing that's not supposed
For
to be
sure.
a thing, right?
Exactly.
And so that was my like, oh wait, so now it's because I heard people speculating online like, oh no, it was a pattern level event, and like the Tavern nature of them both, like, you know, came together and brought her back to life. And I'm over here like, what?
Wow.
What? Like, I get it.
Told you.
I like it.
It's fun to speculate, but also what?
Told you. It was
Yes.
a reverse Horcrux. I'm not letting that go. I'm gonna keep calling her reverse Horcrux.
The weirder, the better. Bring it all.
I just so next time, just a little note for Zoe is just like move slightly, just like a little. If you're not breathe something.
Twitch.
Just twitch like
Nostril flare.
Ooh, a nostril flare. That would have been. But sorry, this scene I thought was really lovely because the thing that I liked the most about the scene was that it looked to me like Nynaeve, whenever she saw that Egwene was going to be like burning out, it looked like she was kind of like taking on part of Egwene's burden, which is like so perfectly Nynaeve that even though I didn't love the fact that it looked like she was dead and got resurrected, I still really liked the scene because of that. Because it was Nynaeve being perfectly Nynaeve.
Rafe gave it an actual explanation somewhere, but it was very like vaguely, sketchily worded and didn't really make much sense. So I can't remember exactly what it was.
Rafe also said in an interview that Moiraine was stilled. So
yeah.
Okay, so he did say that. I knew it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought I saw that online.
I was like,
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it from Rafe, but I know Brandon.
Yeah, maybe Brandon said that. Meme Reborn with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Nynaeve burning out.
I think it was Brandon saying that Rafe said it was still.
We have a super chat. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
calm down.
Because they're in a position of, like...
Meme Reborn is saying that Nynaeve burning out felt like when I accidentally burned my Pop-Tarts. Okay? This is a really important super chat that we need to talk about.
They're lethal.
Can we talk about the foreshadowing in this particular scene?
Or the Pop-Tart.
The foreshadowing in what
Yes,
way?
let's talk about it.
In this scene,
tell us about it.
When the burning out was happening, do you have that screenshot? The same.
When the burning out was happening. Okay. What are we looking at here? Well, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Nynaeve, I'm burning. Wow, I am. What? No,
I don't even have to say it.
Egwene goes through a lot. That's all.
I'll just leave that there.
And okay, so
also I would just say that this scene was very evocative of
it was amazing.
Of Manetheren and the last stand there, which
true.
Of course ties into your previous point.
That's really
The
true.
I'm being very vague around this.
They've covered Manetheren and what happened to Manetheren. But the difference between the King of Manetheren's wife, I can't remember her name, burning out using, what was her name?
Eldrine.
Look at you.
With her burning out using power to destroy the Trolloc army, and this is that she was an Aes Sedai, whereas Melissa was barely an accepted, which is why she lost control, and she was using people who have never linked before.
Yeah.
Right? So somebody pointed out to me on TikTok that, they should be able to do more. Maybe it was here, I don't remember, they should be able to do more. They can't just stand there and look like they're doing the funky chicken. Full-blown Aes Sedai, when they're linked, are basically spotters for what's happening to tell the one that's actually channeling there, right? So they are, and yes, they could probably use, knives and swords or whatever while they're linked. Young women and women that can barely, because the two on the right could barely channel. You could see that in the power coming into them, how little was coming into them compared to what was coming into Nynaeve and Egwene.
Yeah.
He'd never done that before. Melissa barely knew what the hell she was doing. So them standing there
tragic
makes
to
perfect
watch.
sense. Yeah, it was horrible.
I've just seen a missed
perfect sense.
opportunity. When Amalisa was going nuts and Nynaeve was trying to tell us to stop, they missed an opportunity to have Nynaeve throw something at her to knock her out and stop her from channeling.
What's she gonna throw at her? Though?
Thump her with a stick.
What happened?
Like a rock or something?
She didn't have her thumping stick. They took that away from her in the show.
Well, she doesn't have a eye dam either, but...
That's a good. So we've got in the Twitch chat, it's been everyone says one of the things I find surprising is that people didn't like the violence, whereas the books were, in my opinion, too, pretty violent. So I guess it is really different seeing it than reading it, I would say.
I agree.
Vastly.
So we are.
I was surprised we got a blender so early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that yeah.
might take away from the impact of the blender.
It's different
And I
seeing it
know
on
that the
Trollocs, I
blender is
think.
Raif's favorite scene as well that he really wants to do.
I think
so.
it'll be different seeing it on
Yeah,
humans.
it'll be different,
And that's
especially that close in those numbers. Yeah.
in the daytime also. Yeah, we haven't gotten to spoilers, so let's finish the non-spoiler section. Pat and Fane really hard suggesting that Matt is going to the dark. I don't think that's going to happen. No way.
Aaron,
Kritter,
well, that
Kritter,
oh well.
do you want to put
Well, this scene is this on the screen is where Perrin picks up the axe and he says, "The tiniest push, and you choose the dark." So they're still they're being as vague about who will go to the dark because Pat and Fane doesn't name it. He was just like they were about.
I mean,
the Dragon
it
Reborn.
flashes
The
to
Dragon
Matt
Reborn.
though, like right after that.
It does. It goes. Yeah.
So
It does. But we also know that Perrin has anger issues,
yeah,
which is why he got suckered into the way of the leaf. Right. So
yeah. I don't see personally them taking any characters down a different path, morality wise, than they have in the books. But that's
I don't
just
think
me.
they'll go down the path, but I think they're going to experiment with it more. Again, I can't remember where I heard or read this, but it was from Rafe. And he was saying something to the effect of the stories in season 2 are going to have our characters confronting the darkness within themselves.
My
That'd be
goodness,
cool.
it's so good.
that's gonna be
So-
good.
I can't wait.
It is
Yes.
good. And then okay,
Yes.
to end this
I think
before we
That
get into
sounds phenomenal.
before we
He's
get
not
into
really
the
in
spoilers.
the chat, Winespring.
What?
He's not really in the chat. No, I'm kidding.
We've got
For
these.
anyone wondering,
Yes,
I have no life. That's how I know all this shit.
We appreciate your
I'm
sacrifice.
totally torn with the Shanshan.
Why?
torn about it.
I think they look so crazy.
They look amazing, but they've taken away
Stunning.
they've taken away the insect helmets. I think they
No,
I think
they're
what
there.
he did was Huh?
Yeah.
They're there.
Look at the helmets in the air.
no, they're not. Those are skulls. Those are bugs. Anyways,
They're insect-like. They've got like that shell on the shoulder that looks like a
Kind
shell.
of, okay,
almost.
so here's my theory. I think what they've done is that he might have changed it to give it a more Aztec or Mayan feel. Because a lot of the makeup and a lot of the stuff that they're wearing kind of reminds me of that. And I want to say that they had skull masks that they would wear, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a different culture, but I think that's possible, including you see that spiral on the front of the ship there with the bone, with the giant teeth coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's also very reminiscent of Central American. And there's another shot that shows what do they call that thing? The masthead? The thing on the front of the ship is called the masthead. Is that right?
I think so.
Look that up. It's a three-eyed tiger.
It's a Grom.
Yeah, there's a third eye right on its
Here we
forehead.
go. It's a Grom.
Which is freaking so cool.
Oh, that is cool.
It's a
Here we go.
Grom.
I got it. Grom. Nimheath
Shout out
has
to
requested
Grom.
a Faldara
Shout out to
s'mores recipe. Which now that I said that out loud, know why you asked for that. Faldara s'mores. Just don't burn the marshmallow, okay?
Oh my God.
That's all
You
I'm
want the
saying.
Faldara
No,
s'mores recipe.
Just don't leave the Amelisa in too long.
Don't
That's
leave.
actually amazing.
Gosh.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah, no, you're fine. All right, so okay, we have got to talk spoilers now because we keep almost saying things and then not saying them because we can't.
Yeah.
So
All right, we're
I
ready.
am gonna throw up the spoiler banner. Anybody who has not read all of the Wheel of Time, you are in danger. You are in danger. Okay, please leave or stay if you want to get spoiled. That's totally fine either way.
Run!
Just wanted you to know that it's happening. And in 3, 2, 1, we're spoiling things now. Okay, so I see what
Rand is the dark one.
Who is the dark one? Oh, it's
Randall Thor.
Randall Thor is
Yeah.
the
Well,
dark
he's
one.
not actually called out.
It's amazing. It's
Real
an
name is
amazing.
Rand Balrog.
Dragon Reborn would be a fool.
His name. It's an anagram for Balrog. No,
Wow.
it's not. I'm just
That's
kidding.
really wow. I'm so glad we waited for the spoiler section to talk about that.
James is thinking about it. He's like, wait a minute.
I did the mental math.
I
I know it's not math when it's spelling, but
Oh God.
So
at that point in the evening.
now I'm just kind of like drawing a blank on what I want to
Plus,
talk
what-
about. Other than like Egwene burning here in the scene and
Yeah.
Nynaeve taking it away from her. I think we all know that that's a reference to her becoming the flame.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Nice.
I guess I don't know. Oh, and somebody asked actually for us to rate the cold opens and say why. So best cold
Rate
Um, open for me is
cold
7, hands
Ooh.
down.
While we're on cold opens,
Yeah.
I'll do this rating thing. That's cool. I have another question about cold opens. We can either get to it after or
Okay.
but basically, what do you think the cold open for season 2 will be?
We're still on season 1.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, but I want to discuss that.
All right, let's see.
What we
First
can
episode of season
rating
1.
thing.
Sean Chan taking Falma. You heard it here first.
Oh, yeah.
Thing is
So-
Johnson taking Fall Me. All right.
That's my guess.
Personally, I think I want it to be a Dark Friend social from the perspective of Eamon Valder, revealing it at the end of the scene when he puts his armor back on or whatever and takes his mask off.
Or he's taking Carradine's place.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
like,
man, yeah.
we'll see Dana and maybe Logicota or Loddingtar, and maybe Leandrin and maybe Paladin or some other people.
We're gonna
that
get some
we've
Dark
seen
Friend
on the list.
reveals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
but
I want
all,
that.
all masked. All
That's
masked.
what I want.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That would be cool.
say right now,
I would like that a
Wait,
lot.
wait,
I'm
I would
voting for
love-
that.
I would
And also-
love to see. I would
Added
love to see-
benefit.
Okay.
Sorry, added benefit of that scene is that it includes Ishamael, so it lets the viewers know right away. Lol, you thought he was dead. No.
Not dead.
Not dead.
If we're going that far ahead,
Perfect.
I want to see the actress that played Dana.
Yeah.
Would be brought back as either what is it, Esengar or Orengar? Which one?
I don't remember.
One where the man gets put in the female body.
I don't know if I want that to happen.
Oh my
in this.
goodness.
I would love to
Oh
see
my
her
goodness.
again. Just bring her back to life.
I would love
Somebody else
to see
inside of
her
her.
back to life. Yeah.
I'm trying to picture her as
I
how
would
you-
like to see her back to life.
Because she was amazing. All right.
Anytime.
Ooh, Shelly
Spoilers.
Sedai, that's a great point. Oh my gosh. So if
Where we at?
instead of having it present day Sean Chan taking Falma, it could
Or
be
Hawkwing? Yeah.
Hawkwing. That would be an awesome cold open. Holy.
Would be amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, for me, it's rating the cold opens.
Oh, yeah.
To
Yeah,
just
man.
circle all the way back. It's 100% 7 for me, and then probably 4 or 6. I love Baby Swan. I love the Nynaeve like predator scene. One was easily
Oh,
the
man.
last like least favorite because it was just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
boring. I know it sets up the Reds, but meh. And I did really like the Age of Legends, so I'd put that one probably like middling because the other ones are just way more exciting for me. What did you guys think? Was 7 the best for everyone?
I'm figuring mine out right now.
Yeah, 7's the best for me too, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7, 3.
And then 8 for me.
Yeah, I think I'm 738 as well at the start of my list.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all of them. 7, 3.
I know.
I remember what-
Oh,
I
there's
can't
the
remember
White Cloak
what-
one, too.
No, I really
Oh,
love
that was
Which
2.
one's
Oh,
that?
sorry, that's 7-4.
Is that
7-4.
7-4.
And then
7-4-3.
7-4-3 and 2 is up there because that White Cloak reveal was insane.
It was. That one was really, really
that
good.
cold open was ridiculous.
Of-
I liked it, but I don't feel like I appreciated it as much because I'd seen it in the trailer.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, and the Logain cold open was really cool too. God, they were
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
such.
balls of that.
I guess for me, it's like the ones that I could have taken or left would have been number 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot.
I actually really liked
what was 5? Oh no, 5 was the burial, right?
Oh, I guess
Was there
I
something
mean
in front of
yeah.
the burial?
that episode did have 2 funerals, so I might have could have done
Mhm.
without the Aes Sedai burial, but
Mm-hmm.
So the
Mhm.
cool thing about that episode that they talked about in the extra stuff was that it started off with keening, which is the highest sound a woman can make, right, for Karini's burial, and it ended with Stepin's burial with a Mongolian throat singer, which is the lowest sound a male can make. They
That's
do
cool.
multiple sounds in their throat. So that whole, I told you that's my favorite episode. But yeah, that was like a bookend episode where start to finish it was on point. Yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, one definitely is the last
Weakest,
one.
yeah. And I agree. I just pinned this, but Cygnus Rising said the low gain cold open should have been episode 1's cold open. I think so too. I think that would have made episode 1 a lot stronger. Honestly, like starting off on such a strong note would have maybe like elevated it in my personal ranking as of all the episodes.
I can't decide between low gain and Blood Snow for my favorite.
Really? Okay.
I think Blood Snow, like, it was amazing from start to finish, but I don't think it had that same. There was a moment in Low Gains, and you know what moment it was. It was as soon as those taint puppets appeared above his shoulder, I was like, "Oh, that's how they're doing this."
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay.
I was not here
love
for the theories on that.
I loved that. Joe GB with a $10 in super chat. I'm late, but I wanted to show some support. I adore this show and everyone in it. Blue Heart.
Joe GB.
Thank you for being here, Joe GB. We're super happy that you're here. Yeah, it's happy. It's a good time.
Keep typing your rankings in the chats because we definitely want to see those.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. And still for me, best episode was 7 for sure. Thank you for the Prime sub.
8.
It's been everyone. For you, it's 8. You liked 8 the best.
Yeah, this is my favorite. Totally.
Mine went to 8 from 5 to 8.
Okay. Nice. Winespring, what about
Only
you?
because. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead. I'm still thinking.
Primarily because I like the storytelling. I really, I mean, granted, yeah, the production value with the Trollocs looked like kind of crappy, but again, I really wasn't looking too much at production value.
Yeah.
And this was probably one of the first episodes. I think the last thing I really nitpicked about was Loyal's height. It's 6, I think it was, when he first showed up. And I had to have a real big conversation with myself and say, listen, just enjoy the show for what the show is. It's different from the books. I was, with a bunch of other people that were nitpicking little things. So 7 and 8, I basically watched the episodes. And 8 was the first time that I was like, this makes for an excellent show. I love the progression of the story. There was a couple of things, of course, the whole Nynaeve Egwene misunderstanding with the resurrection of that whole thing. But other than that, the jump scare, the story progression, the character development, I thought was great. I just truly just sat back and enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it for me was Faris's performance. I just wanted more of him. I wish we'd got more of him early in the season.
Yeah.
Talking to the boys in their dreams, or all 5.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. Is she?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he should have talked some more somewhere.
I have to say as well, I opened up a notepad to start typing out my order of the cold opens, and I saw a note from earlier that I took down. So
Okay.
you asked a question, Tavern, about can he not touch Moiraine?
Yes.
Talking about is she still?
Yeah.
Yes. So my logic is that no, he can't touch her, because as we saw from those tendrils, he's trapped. He's trapped there. But if that is the boar, and I'm still not sure if it is, but if it is the boar, even if it's not, it's still in Shell Gold, so it's close enough for the rift to be torn almost. close enough for him to trap Rand in Teleran Riord, right?
Yeah.
So his appearance there is almost as if he's appearing in Teleran Riord rather than appearing in the living world. In which case he would be able to channel and affect Moiraine, but we know because of what happens in the near the end of the Dragon Reborn Book 3 that you can shield people in Teleran Riord and you can tie it off and they wake up and they can't channel.
What was Moiraine and Teleran?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There could be an argument that they were close enough to the ball that the line between reality and Teleran Riord is blurred, which is a thing that happens near the ball.
Okay, I get that. I was under the impression that the closer you are to the boar, like you said, there's a thinner line so things can kind of get through. I wasn't even thinking Teleran. I just think that he can't physically touch her, but he can still manipulate enough of the power because they're that close to the boar.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he's only appearing in Teleran Riord.
Right, but I mean, he's still appearing to her. He's physically, well, maybe it's just an image of him standing there that was changed.
Okay,
so yeah,
I don't think
tough.
I'm dictating myself well. Essentially, he's trapped. He can't appear physically in my canon. Yeah, he can't appear physically at all. But the line there is so thin that the real world and Teleran Riord are they're like 2 layers in a Photoshop file.
Right.
And
I love that.
That's a good call. Okay, I got that.
Yeah, but he's able to have this conversation with Moiraine, who's in the waking world, while he is in Teleran Riord. And he can channel at her, but he can't touch her.
So he's basically
Interesting.
That's my interpretation.
Okay, so he's basically two separate images in Teleran, one that's dealing with Rand and one that's dealing with her.
Yeah, he's got Rand off in a dream shard somewhere. As soon as Rand touched the stone, he was close enough for Ishamael to take control of him, yank him off into a dream shard.
Just so that I'm clear, so then it would be two versions of him, one talking to Moiraine and one talking to Rand, or dealing with Rand. Because if it's the same, then she would have to see what Rand is seeing. The same movements, the same whatever. So,
well, we know that he has the power to do that, right? Because he has different conversations with the boys in the books at the same time.
Right, in each stream. He's all in all of their heads, correct.
Okay, so I have something in the chat. Something in the chat that I completely agree with. Cygnus Rising says, pretty sure the location in episode 8 was a seal, but not the boar. In my mind, whenever Moiraine said that the Dark One was trapped at the Eye of the World, my book reader brain was like, what? Like, I don't know if you guys had that same experience, but I was like, no, he's not. Of course, I've like, well, they can change anything. Like, this could be different, like, whatever. But then whenever they show up and there's a seal there and the seal breaks, I kind of thought, okay, this is clearly a significant location. It's got like a bunch of cool stuff, including what appears to be a seal. So maybe this isn't the actual boar. In fact, it's just one place that they had one of the seals, and they're going to go on some epic quest that ends up like going to the multiple locations.
So here's a theory I can give you in like 1 sentence rather than all.
I like that, Kritter. I like that.
I agree completely, 100%.
Next.
It's the seal that it's not the Dark One's prison. It's a Ishamael specifically, his prison.
Or like where he got trapped.
And he just
that
had
there
Rand
might
unleash
be
him.
a bunch of seals around the world in all these key locations that we go to, and each of them will hold a different Forsaken.
Oh wow, that would be very questy. That would be I don't know.
I thought the same.
It feels very D&D.
Questy.
Doesn't it? Like
had not linked the chains, you know,
they might not make that link until like after it's dealt with, but
no, I agree with that as well, that there are locations and this is just one. Because to me, the way I look at it is you have the Shio Ghoul, right, or the boar here, then you have the seals spread out, and then basically each seal has some kind of tether to the boar, right? And as the seals break, it loosens another chain on the boar. I agree with what Kritter was saying. and I agree with James as well, because after seeing the dark tendrils coming out of Ishi's feet, right, which he said were like chains holding him down,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense that this might be where they fought him, because again, Rand saw Luz and Ishi here fighting. Didn't say
Not the
anybody
Dark
else, and at this point, we're all thinking
Well,
it's the Dark One because that's what the show's led us to believe, right?
That's a good point.
So anybody saying, "Oh yeah, the Dark One is buried there," maybe they had somewhere in the histories, the dragon fought at this location.
Okay, but we're on spoiler chat now. We all know that the Dark One isn't buried there because we all know it doesn't.
Absolutely, he's not buried there. Yeah.
Nope.
So, like,
Basically,
there's no one buried anywhere.
Shale
There's no-
Ghul
What
is
I'm
just the
saying
place
is-
where he's the closest, right? Isn't that kind of what they always say? It's like
Yeah, because that's where the line's thinnest. So
right.
that's where he has
And so that's
most
the question: is this that, or is there a Shale Ghul that we're gonna see later? And that's what I'm hoping for, because I feel like the fact that we saw the place that they're gonna be fighting the last battle already is like not as cool as it could be. But
I feel like that could be it.
I mean, it could be.
I'm not gonna.
It could be.
Yeah,
Was there a screenshot that we missed somewhere?
I feel like
Of what?
it would
You're
be.
talking about you've seen the location of the last battle?
No.
As in spoiler chat, like we know where the last battle is. Like,
Oh yeah.
In Rift's
Oh yeah, I get you.
from
I
Rift's
saw an
point of
image and I was
view-
like, shit.
no, I didn't.
I think
But
from
here's-
Rift's point of view, he would be like, okay, yeah, let's have the end of season 1 be the same location that we're planning to have at the end of season 8, because that's full circle.
It could. It could.
Maybe. Maybe.
Like in that way, narratively, I like it. But I love the imagery of Shale Ghul in the books. The like going down through a cavern and the cavern's like ceiling closing in on you. You know, like the
That with
heat
the teeth and
Oh
and
my
like
goodness,
all of
yes.
that. Like it's very
It's
very
quite evocative of
hell.
Mount Doom, though, isn't it?
well,
So
it
they
is,
might-
but it's
It is
but
very
it's,
hellish.
But it's hellish, and that's I think what Mount Doom
Mm-hmm.
is about, and I think maybe that's what Shale Ghul is about. It's very hellish. It's a temptation by the devil, and I'm not religious. That's the imagery. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's just. I hope we get it. That's all I'm saying. And if we don't, then we don't. And it will be narratively, it will be cool that we will have come full circle, but it could really go either way, I guess.
it all comes back to the confusion. We talked about this earlier as well. The confusion that Moiraine and Swan and whoever else knew of the prophecy, had been searching for the prophecy, are completely confused as to what the prophecy actually says. I mean, Moiraine was looking for a male or a female, right? Because they weren't sure how accurate the prophecies were. So them saying that, the Dark One is imprisoned at the Eye of the World could just be a misunderstanding or something that they didn't grasp. And then Moiraine at the end of this episode goes, "Oh shit, we were wrong."
She
No,
literally
because
does.
they
Yeah.
get that.
Moraine's like, we
Yeah.
don't know anything.
Right, but we remember the reason that they went to the Eye of the World, Battle of the Dark One, was because Swan said she saw it in a dream.
It's a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was Ishi. That was it.
So,
It's a trap.
so definitely.
I just want to say,
Crap.
chat's picking up on this sort of the Forsaken being in the seals around the world thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
this is
And saying some things that I was basically thinking when I said they were scattered around the
I'm
world.
telling you, when you were
Tia.
talking about the
Move
force
Tia.
puppets,
yeah.
You're talking about-
Rudian as
Ooh,
well as
that
a
could be cool.
location for one. I hadn't thought of that one, but Rudian's a super cool one. Shout out to BR Feist, I think. in the
hey
chat.
James, you know your little Sidon puppets that you were talking about earlier. With
Oh yeah.
I personally think it's a Forsaken or a Forsaken.
Hmm.
We're barely touching with the power and messing with them.
It's an interesting theory.
Because they show up exactly described as Messina was described when she showed up to Avierin, the tower.
Disagree.
They've made of silver and shadow.
Anna was described differently than that.
She was
I can
described
understand
as made
that-
of silver light and shadow.
I can understand
Hmm.
where I did not imagine that when I read how Masana was described, but I can understand why you would interpret it that way.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: they've not done anything the same as the books.
They have done some stuff the same as the books. And just as an aside, Zeus and I, thank you for the €5 super chat. I laughed at her carrying a Sa Angreal, a tune for men, the entire season.
Yes.
It was.
We already went over that.
We covered that earlier.
We
It was
did.
amazing.
We did. I love that. I love that happened.
So good.
Okay. Also, somebody I want to point this out. Somebody in the Alan Bird says the Aes Sedai are so much more unknowable in this turning. Like Moiraine was Gandalf in the books as far as knowledge in the show. In the show, she's Bilbo. I feel like in the show, in the books, she wanted everyone to think that she was Gandalf. That was the plan. Like she wanted everyone to do exactly what she wanted. And her only plan was, like, if you've read New Spring, follow these lists, find all the babies that were born in this area, which is a very clinical thing to do. Go look for them. Like, once you find them, determine whether or not they show signs of being the dragon, which in the books was like a boy, basically. They eliminated all girls. And then once that happens, take them to Tar Valon. Like, wow, Moiraine, and then I guess they like changed things up, obviously, and she ended up deciding that they needed to go to the Eye, but I think maybe that was written in prophecy. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, Moiraine was following
what better way to go about it?
a roadmap.
There were three sources driving them to the end.
Right.
I mean, what better way to go about finding the Dragon Reborn than to have a list and start
Start
one
at the
a
top.
time.
Literally. She is clinical. That's Moiraine. Moiraine wasn't like Gandalf level wise. She just did her research, I think.
To the meme reborn in chat, it's not indica, it's Stoned Dog's threefold Kush. And you can get it now. Well, you can get the merch for it now at least.
Fine.
Where is it? Zazzle, I think. Zazzle, yeah. Go buy that.
Very nice.
Oh, that's interesting. Kev in on Twitch says the Sangreal was the pool of Sidin.
Technically, it was replaced. Yeah,
that's what replaced it. That's actually interesting because my husband is really mad that there wasn't a pool of Sidin. Like he was not happy about it, and so that's an interesting thought that I'll tell him for sure. Oh, also thank you.
We're talking about the.
I mean, if you notice,
yeah, and I was wondering if that could be like a well.
you're talking about.
Ooh, it could be a well. That's
the thing
cool.
that
What?
Manfred
Well,
has.
the ring that he was wearing.
Yeah. Like the knuckle dusters. Could that be like a well, maybe?
Maybe it's possible. Yeah.
Interesting.
The fact them all carrying wells would be a smart thing to do in that age, right?
It really would.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To go on the thing that you said your husband was saying about the
The
pool
pool.
of Sidin. If you notice, he's channeling a lot inside of Tel'aran'rhiod, and he's pushing it into the Sangreal. Then when he comes out, he's still channeling, but when he holds it out and it starts glowing, he's not channeling anymore. There's no streams coming into him. He's just letting it all go out of the Sangreal. He's no longer channeling, so it basically is a pool.
That's
He's put into
interesting.
it.
I like that a lot. And you're right, Kev. 1,000 men poured their power into it is exactly like the way they describe the pool from the books. And just before we get on to something else, Zeus Sedai, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. That you, I think maybe, unless I missed it, are my first member. I just got memberships today. So welcome to the I decided I think the name for my besties and fam is gonna be the Kritter Circle. So welcome to the Kritter Circle.
Nice.
Okay. That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very excited.
That's super cool.
Thank you,
The
Zeus.
Critter Circle.
The Kritter, isn't that? I mean, I think it's pretty catchy. I'm pretty good at coming up with catchy
Like
names.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
For sure.
I like that. I like that that's the pool, and I feel like it's
that was
way.
cool.
I feel like that's way easier, CGI wise, than having a giant pool of like weird liquid stuff.
Mhm.
I kind of liked that they did have, like, the area was wet, like the eye.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
see
Mhm.
raindrops,
Like
almost,
swampy,
not
yeah.
raindrops, but, like, you could see stuff causing ripples
Mm-hmm.
on, like, a thin level of water over the eye. I thought that was cool. A cool touch.
There was one shot where Rain
is
was
a cool
standing
touch.
down there, and he's looking up, and I don't have a screenshot of it, but he's looking up, or maybe I do, and it's just blue sky. It's almost like the light is looking down on him in the shadows, which was kind of cool. And then, actually, if you go back to that shot where he's releasing the Sidon from the Sign Grill, want to point something else out?
Let's do it.
Shout out Zeusadai. I'm from the UK too. It's
And this is
10
symbology for Winespring. Been learning a lot about
Symbology.
symbology.
Okay.
We
with
love
her.
symbology.
He's standing on the white part of the eye.
He sure is.
He's not standing on the dark side.
Oh, because he chose the light. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah, Kev87 says R.I.P.
Oh, that-
Sobeshta. We
That's good stuff.
didn't get the Green Man, which again was going to be a CGI nightmare, so I get it. Also,
I
he's
genuinely thought we.
I was disappointed,
This-
but yeah.
Go
I
to
thought
the
we were
shot
getting
of Rand's hand being covered in moss. That screenshot.
okay. Wait, James, you thought we would see him? You thought the Green Man was going to be in it?
I thought we were getting the Steve man.
Steve.
So you thought he was going to be Steve? That's amazing. I'm trying
Well,
to find
by
him
the
on
time
that.
we were in episode 7 and we hadn't seen Steve, I was like,
Where
it's the
is he?
Steve man.
It's got to be Steve.
It's the green.
Oh,
It's the
there's
green
his
man.
mossy
It's the
hand.
Steve man.
All right, so we've got a mossy
Yeah.
I'm
hand.
obsessed with Steve though. Like, when I got a dusty wheel mug after being on there for the first time, and I got the Steve one, the one with all
Okay,
the.
so I'm just gonna say right
highest
now,
Steve
we're
always.
cheap. We're cheap. We
I'm
don't
a
have
Steve
presents
fan.
to give.
Oh, no,
we
that's
don't have
fine.
presents. So are you
Not yet
saying
anyways.
that this hand is representative
Yeah.
of Rand becoming the Green Man?
No, that's just me saying, listen, there's our nod to the Green Man. That was. Here you go.
Okay.
You wanted a Green Man. There he is. what we
Hashtag
got.
Steve Meshta.
I'm
Much,
not sure I like the underlying connotations of that.
Yeah, because Steve. So I just called the Green Man. I just referred to him as Steve. Steve would never corrupt. Steve is a good guy. Okay.
Like your head canon of the Green Man isn't Semester anymore. It's
It's
Steve.
Steve.
That's funny.
Which is an easier thing to pronounce, so that works. All right, guys, we went like way longer than usual.
Yeah,
But this. I think we need to wrap up here. This was lovely. Just so you know, the Wheel and Chill show, even though it is not going to have episodes to react to every week, it is going to continue. It may not continue weekly, but we will let you know well in advance when it's coming.
Nice.
It will be at least once a month, and we do have plans for topics for upcoming shows, so never fear. We'll be back, and we will be back very soon. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. I want to thank James once again with WheelUpTime. His information is in the description if you want
Yeah,
to
thank
find his
you.
Discord, his YouTube. My co-hosts, you are lovely, lovely people. Winespring Cafe, Tavern. Go to winespringcafe.com and make some recipes.
Where's she at?
And
Up there.
Tavern has tons of awesome merch. Go buy his merch or check out his TikTok or whatever. And Kev in the chat, I will do the League of Legends Wheel of Time character comparison in a YouTube video at some point sometime
Nice.
soon, for sure, because that feels like a
yes,
thing that needs to happen.
Please.
But until next time, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here. This was very, very nice. And peace.